out in front of was the very real threat that RFK Jr. poses at the Department of Health and Human Services, specifically when it comes to life-saving vaccines like the polio vaccine. According to the New York Times, Kennedy's lawyer, Aaron Siri, has been by RFK's side as he reviews candidates for positions within the DHS, and this guy has already attempted to get the approval of the polio vaccine revoked. And that's right, we're not even talking about the coronavirus vaccine, the fucking polio vaccine. Here's from the reporting.
Aaron Siri has petitioned the government to revoke its approval of the polio vaccine, which for decades has protected millions of people from a virus that can cause paralysis or death. That campaign is just one front in the war that the lawyer, Aaron Siri, is waging against vaccines of all kinds. Mr. Siri has also filed a petition seeking to pause the distribution of 13 other vaccines. Challenged and in some cases quashed COVID vaccine mandates around the country, sued federal agencies for the disclosure of records related to vaccine approvals, and subjected prominent vaccine scientists to grueling videotaped depositions. Much of Mr. Siri's work, including the polio petition filed in 2022, has been on behalf of the Informed Consent Action Network, a nonprofit whose founder is a close ally of Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Siri also represented Mr. Kennedy during his presidential campaign. Cool.
Good stuff.
On Monday, Trump directly addressed the notion that RFK, who has a personal yet misinformed vendetta against vaccines, would go anywhere near vaccines.
Yeah.
Vaccines and autism. Do you believe there's a link?
Well, I don't look. Right now, you have some very brilliant people looking at it. I had dinner the other night with the head of Pfizer, the head of Eli Lilly, and RFK, as you know, and Oz. And we had, and other people within the administration that are involved, medical, and we're looking to find out.
What do you say to people who are worried that his views on vaccines will translate into policies that will make their kids less safe?
No, I think he's going to be much less radical than you would think. I think he's got a very open mind, or I wouldn't have put him there. He's going to be very much less radical. But there are problems. I mean, we don't do as well as a lot of other nations, and those nations use nothing. And we're going to find out what those problems are. I think everything should be looked at, but I'm a big believer in the polio vaccine, the Salk vaccine.
Do you think schools should mandate vaccines? Do you think schools should mandate vaccines?
I don't like mandates. I'm not a big mandate person, so.
But elsewhere during his appearance, Trump floated the idea of pardoning embattled NYC Mayor Eric Adams, saying,
yeah, I would. Yeah. I think that he was treated pretty unfairly. Now, I haven't seen the gravity of it all, but it seems, you know, like being upgraded in an airplane many years ago. I know probably everybody here has been upgraded. They see you're all stars, and they say, I want to upgrade that person from NBC. I'm going to upgrade him. And that would mean you'll spend the rest of your life in prison. I don't know.
First of all, just an insane framing of like what the scandal actually is.
Yes, yeah.
He got upgraded on a plane. What's the big deal?
No, he was getting
this is
cash
all publicly
infusions to
available
his
shit.
campaign. Yes, he was. The state of New York was matching contributions that were coming from unverified sources that seemed to be Turkey. So yet, like, he was getting potentially upgraded or free flight.
That was one tiny little detail of a much larger pattern of corruption.
And even that was, he was being so taken care of by this Turkish airline that he would call, he was trying to go to, what was it, like Chile?
He was, yeah.
And they're like, you guys connect through fucking Istanbul?
Does Turkish Airlines do flights to Chile? And they're like, what? No. He'd fly to Paris and fly all the way to Istanbul, like 4 extra hours and 4 extra hours from Istanbul to Paris, just so he could enjoy the lovely airport they have
it's a great
in
airport.
Istanbul.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Trump also threatened to fire federal workers who refuse to return to the office.
One is that if people don't come back to work, come back into the office, they're going to be dismissed. And somebody in the Biden administration gave a 5-year waiver of that so that for 5 years, people don't have to come back into the office. It involved 49,000 people. For 5 years, they don't have to go. They just signed this thing. It's ridiculous. So it was like a gift to a union, and we're going to obviously be in court to stop it.
He claimed that everyone who pushed back against him during or after his first term in office are suddenly very supportive and friendly towards him, reconfirming the fact that stroking his ego will be the only way to get anything done, or because they simply want to avoid pesky regulations or actual retribution.
Yeah.
From a question about meeting with tech executives like Tim Cook, Trump said,
one of the big differences between the first term In the first term, everybody was fighting me. In this term, everybody wants to be my friend. I don't know. My personality changed or something. But no, it's a big difference. The big difference is that the first time everybody was fighting on all fronts. And we had a great administration. The first one, they were very hostile. And maybe it was my fault, but I don't really think so. They were just very right from the beginning. And this one is much less hostile. It's really the opposite of hostile.
Well, quite the opposite indeed. Also, I'm so excited for 4 more years of complete word salad. Very exciting things to look forward to. But more importantly to all the millennials and Gen Zers out there, Trump also spoke about the TikTok ban, which is something that his administration got started, but now seems to be changing their minds about. Currently, TikTok is facing a January 19th deadline to either sell the company and fully divest from their Chinese parent company, ByteDance, or risk being shut down by the federal government. And now they're asking the Supreme Court to step in and block the law that will ban the app. They're hoping to hear a decision by at least January 6th so that they can prepare for whatever comes next. Now, like we said, Trump seems to have reversed his previous decision regarding the app and might, at the very least, grant them a 90-day extension, which would take some of the pressure off during the presidential transition. When asked by reporters about the fate of TikTok, Trump said the following.
We'll take a look at TikTok. You know, I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok because I won youth by 34 points. And there are those that say that TikTok had something to do with that. TikTok had an impact, and so we're taking a look at it. But, you know, we won youth. Republicans are always 30 points down in youth. I don't know why, but we ended up finishing. There was one poll that showed us down about 30. We were 35 or 36 points up with young people. So I have a little bit of a warm spot in my heart, I'll be honest.
It's so funny because, like, literally everything he talks about is just like, is this good to me or for me? Then it is good. If for some reason TikTok was negative towards Trump at any point and he caught wind of that, then yes, absolutely it should be banned. It's just so blatant.
Also, really not saying anything in that statement.
Yeah, no, not at all. He's just going to look into it.
I don't know. He could have just said, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that would have given you about as much information.
Yeah, meanwhile, you have a bunch of people who have legitimate concerns about their businesses that they built on these platforms who now are going like, well, yeah, Trump's saying he's going to do something about it. Like, this is good, right? This is good news for me. Trump's out there. He's going to make sure something happens. But no, he just opened his mouth and hot air came out like usual.
It did get a bit worse, the press conference, when he started talking about potentially taking the United States Post Office and turning it into a private for-profit business similar to Amazon or something. This is a bad idea.
Yeah.
They've been trying to do this for a very long time, and I think they might actually finally do it.
Yeah, this started over a decade ago when they... Was it George W. Bush?
We're not turning a profit with our government program, the post office.
It's not supposed to turn a profit.
Yeah, it's a government program. It's not. It provides a service.
Yeah, but
it is solvent. What else do you want?
The fate of the post office has been sealed since it was. I think George Bush had something where they had to pay like 60 years of pensions in advance or something,
and they still managed to do it.
and it's and still even with that.
But the guy currently running it, who is like, I believe, a former FedEx executive.
He was installed by Trump during the
installed by Trump. Apparently there was it would have been a little tricky for Biden to get rid of him. But this guy has very clearly been intentionally making the post office shittier.
Yes.
So that people look at it and say, we should privatize this.
Yes, just like our education system. The department, like this.
It's their favorite move is to install these privatization freaks in these public sector jobs, intentionally make those agencies worse, and then be like, oh God, how did everything get so bad? We need to privatize this.
Yeah, the free market has figured it out. It's like no, you made it so it was terrible. Yeah. So that everyone was convinced that it was terrible. It's exactly like a lot of other government departments. So that's another thing to look forward to. But anyway, specifically when resulting,
said.
Well, there is talk about the Postal Service being taken private. You do know that. Not the worst idea I've ever heard. It really isn't. You know, it's a lot different today with between Amazon and UPS and FedEx and all the things that you didn't have. But there is talk about that. It's an idea that a lot of people have liked for a long time. We're looking at it.
Anyway, then, of course, there was just the retribution against the media, journalists, and anyone critical of Trump or just, stating facts about Trump, even if they were just reporting on something that literally happened, Trump was glowing after ABC News bent the knee and recently settled a lawsuit against one of their productions and anchored George Stephanopoulos, or George Slopadopoulos, as Trump likes to say. That resulted in ABC agreeing to pay Donald Trump $15 million because of how he was described during one of their episodes, where Stephanopoulos referred to Trump as being found liable for rape when the correct description was liable for sexual abuse. The judge in that case clarifying that the jury's verdict did not mean that E. Jean Carroll had failed to prove that Mr. Trump raped her, as many people commonly understand the word rape. I feel like they could have probably gone to court with this and done all right, but I think they wanted to get this out of the way before their opponent was literally president.
Yes, but in doing so, they have just cleared the way for
set a precedent.
Yeah, and because over the past year or so specifically, you've heard nothing but over and over again. The term lawfare, all you are going to see in the immediate future is retribution and lawfare from his side, because they've been pounding that drum and saying, this is what they've been doing to us.
They like lawfare when they're the ones doing it.
Yes. Still, the speed at which ABC News settled the lawsuit and awarded Trump the settlement has only emboldened him as he continues on his quest for revenge. Now he says he'll be suing one of Iowa's biggest newspapers because they reported on poll numbers that showed Trump trailing behind Kamala Harris in some demographics. And because he won, those poll numbers were obviously phony, rigged, and intentionally promoted in order to make him look bad right before Election Day and somehow tilt the election.
Why do you care? You won.
I know.
Damn it, you're a sore winner.
Once again, from that press conference.
The defamation lawsuits, could you see moving that to other people with individual platforms, social media influencers, people that...
Or newspapers. Yeah. Oh, I do. I think you have to do it because they're very dishonest. We need a great media. We need a fair media. We need, it's very important. And we need borders. We need walls, but we need borders, and we need fair elections. I'm going to be bringing one against the people in Iowa, their newspaper, which had a very, very good pollster who got me right all the time. And then just before the election, she said I was going to lose by 3 or 4 points, and it became the biggest story all over the world because I was going to win Iowa by 20 points. The farmers loved me, and I loved the farmers. And then she brought it down very smartly to 4, a couple of weeks before, and everyone said, wow, that's amazing. He's only up by 4 points. And then she brought it down to where I was down by 3 or 4, whatever number she used. And that was the Des Moines Register, and it was their parent. And in my opinion, it was fraud, and it was election interference. And we're filing one on 60 Minutes. You know about that one. We're involved in one which has been going on for a while and very successfully against Bob Woodward, where he didn't quote me properly from the tapes. We have one very interestingly on Pulitzer, because reporters at the New York Times, Washington Post got Pulitzer Prizes for their wonderful, accurate, and highly professional reporting on the Russia hoax. Well, it turned out to be a hoax, and they were exactly wrong. We have to straighten out the press. Our press is very corrupt, almost as corrupt as our elections.
You won the election.
Yeah, gentle reminder that those corrupt elections that he's talking about just resulted in a large victory for him and his party. And these statements, including the grandstanding about the ABC News settlement, should be seen as threats to any outlets.
He's just he's setting the stage to eliminate democracy. Even though he won, he's like, fake, it's fake, get rid of it, don't need it, I'll be president forever, and it'll be awesome. Love it. I'll be president. I don't know if I can take this shit. I really don't know if I can take another 4 years. Feels like fucking yesterday.
Integrity. Especially early on, he is going to be testing the limits of what he can get away with.
And they're all happy to bend the knee.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to go after anyone that is critical of him. And he's already been emboldened even before taking office. It's nuts. Anyways, we're here with you until they drag us away. And luckily, our viewers and our sponsors are making sure that things stay that way. for the time being. So let's take a quick second to thank today's sponsor before we get into the rest of the news. And first up is Shopify. You know them, you love them. You've probably already interacted with their app or storefront in some way this holiday season. It is Shopify. But while Shopify is good for consumers, it's great for business owners who are looking for a simple and easy way to expand their business online. Because Shopify is the best platform for shopping, hosting your own business, and keeping track of all of your shipments in one place.
There are a ton of amazing duos out there in the world. We are a perfect example, but the best duo is, of course, Shopify and you. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage, to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify is there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soaps or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. Up to 36% better compared to other leading e-commerce platforms. No matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. We love Shopify's simple and easy-to-use app because it keeps track of all of your online shipments. You can even connect other platforms so that your tracking is all in one place.
Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklyn, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's extensive help resources are there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/itdaily, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/itdaily now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. That's shopify.com/itdaily.
This episode is also brought to you by Hims. Hims Hair. Perfect solution to all that hair that's been falling off of your big old head in these interesting times.
Yeah.
Some men, like one of the hosts of this show, me, are able to navigate hair loss gracefully, confidently, beautifully. But not everyone looks fantastic with a bald head. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to keep that lush flowing mane of yours just the way it is. Maybe even turn back time a little bit, back to when it was even lusher and even more flowing. And now with Hims, the solution is simple. Try Hims Hair Loss Solutions. You'll be joining hundreds of thousands of subscribers who got their flow back.
Hims provides you with convenient and quality access to a range of hair loss treatments that work, all from the comfort of your couch. Hims makes treating hair loss simple with doctor-trusted options and clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. Choose from personalized, chewable, oral, spray, and serum treatments to find what works best for you. The process is simple and 100% online, so there's no uncomfortable doctor visits. You just answer a few questions, and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your treatment is sent directly to you in discreet packaging for free.
No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. Hims has hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, and they can help you get your confidence back, too, with visibly thicker and fuller hair. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/itdaily. That's HIMS.com/itdaily for your personalized hair loss treatment option. hims.com/itdaily. Results vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
All right, now back into the news, and we do have an update to a story that we've been covering for quite a while now. It's the saga of a digital media darling called Aussie Media.
Oh, wow, that's a throwback.
Yeah, that was the media company that essentially just faked all of their engagement numbers and their reach in order to secure lucrative deals and tens of millions of dollars worth of investment, despite their actual audience numbers ranging from dozens to hundreds of views.
If that's not ringing any bells, maybe this will.
Yeah.
They had one of their executives get on a
investment call
and pretend to be an executive from YouTube.
Yes.
And then when the people there got like weirded out and actually emailed the person they were pretending to be, they were like, "What are you talking about?"
Yes. More than a few brands had certainly been buying up views during that time period. But what they did differently was they impersonated employees to perpetuate their fake company.
Yeah, it's fraud. They did fraud.
And it wasn't just an employee. It was one of the co-founders. And they worked together on a script. And it was an investment call with Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, who you would assume would have a lot of connections in the industries that they're operating in.
They know who all these people are. They recognize their voices. They're in their faces.
Yeah, so they just gave YouTube a call, and they were like, hey, this you? And they said, nope. So this, of course, led to further investigations, which resulted in the arrests of Aussie media executives for things like identity theft and defrauding investors of around $50 million.
Wait, when I lie to my investors, that's a crime?
Well, lock me up. Oh, they did. So now the co-founder of Aussie Media, Carlos Watson, has been sentenced to 10
Holy
years.
shit.
10 years in prison for some of those charges. Here's the New York Times with more.
Oh my God. Carlos Watson, a co-founder of the now defunct digital media company Aussie Media, was sentenced on Monday to almost 10 years in prison for trying to defraud investors and lenders by lying about the company's finances. The sentence came 5 months after a federal jury convicted Mr. Watson and Aussie Media of conspiracy to commit securities and wire fraud. The jury also convicted Mr. Watson of identity theft following a 2-month trial during which witnesses detailed an impersonated phone call, fabricated contracts, and misleading claims about Aussie's earnings from 2018 to 2021. His lawyer argued that the government's allegations involved the same puffing and bluffing practiced by the founders of BuzzFeed and Vice, but that prosecutors had singled out Mr. Watson for punishment because he is black. At the heart of the case was a 2021 fundraising call during which Mr. Rao misled Goldman Sachs employees by impersonating a YouTube executive, as first reported by the New York Times. Prosecutors contended that Mr. Watson had helped set up the call, citing text messages he sent to Mr. Rao that they claimed amounted to a script for what to say. Mr. Watson denied any responsibility. Testimony that Judge Committee on Monday called egregious perjury. The quantum of dishonesty in this case was exceptional, Judge Committee said. Witnesses also testified that Mr. Watson had misrepresented Aussie's finances to secure investments, inflating revenue figures, and presenting misleading claims of commitments from Oprah Winfrey and Live Nation Entertainment. Yeah, this is all coming back to me. There was, they also, like, they were making, like, their YouTube channel,
I were like 5 views on some of
they were putting out so much content, and, like, I've literally never seen a channel with that much content. There was, yeah, like, most of their videos had literally double-digit or even single-digit views.
It seems like it would be a lot more work to create a channel that gets that few amount of views than to do anything else.
Yeah.
Like, that is an achievement in and of itself. To put up that much content that 0 people out of 7 billion want to watch is truly impressive.
They also had, like, basically Fire Fests for, like, politics dorks in, like, a park in New York City.
Yeah.
There was that whole angle. Yeah, this was that's wild. He's going away for a long time.
Oh, but, well, maybe not, because the right person gets in power, that sentence can be commuted regardless of their actual crimes.
True.
Because speaking of people who should have
777 kids for prison.
It's a completely separate company, but some people deserve punishment. Some people deserve punishment, even though their crimes are technically non-violent. And it turns out a few of those people that Biden commuted the sentences of are, total pieces of shit. And this looks very bad. It looks very bad that he would help these particular folks when there are, assuredly, more people out there that are far more deserving of second chances. So throw another onto the pile of unforced errors, because first up, Biden commuted the sentence of Rita Crumwell, a local politician from a small town in Illinois who was convicted of embezzling over $50 million worth of taxpayer funds to spend on horses and an extremely lavish lifestyle. Here's Newsweek. The scheme left the city short of critical funds. The leaders say it has recovered in the years since, as they have been able to invest in economic development, street resurfacing, and a revitalized riverfront, reported Chicago-based news station WT2W. Glenn Hughes, the mayor of Dixon, told Newsweek the city is stunned and maybe even angry about the commutation, and that the city would like to move past the incident. Although today's news will be a dark moment in Dixon's history, Dixon has recovered very nicely both financially and developmentally from the Crumwell days, he said. Dixon is a great community to live in. We are focused on continuing to enhance the community and are positive about its strength for the future. Dixon City Manager Danny Langlois told the station the commutation definitely cuts the scar open, questioning why Biden would do so at a time when the federal government is the least trusted institution in the country. Wow, thanks.
What's the crime? A little bit of corruption?
A little bit of embezzling $50 million.
Yeah, so I guess this was like a blanket commutation on anyone who had been switched to home confinement during COVID.
Yeah, and admittedly, they, I guess, in so many words, said that it's really hard to set a record for being such a nice person and commuting all these sentences when you have to go person by person. It really bogs down the process.
Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't have been that difficult to be a little selective about this.
Yeah, and the next stereotype we're going to talk about is an actual fucking monster.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, like, he was sentenced.
He did serve like over a decade.
Most of his sentence, but still, the optics.
The sentence should have been longer.
Yes.
This is a just evil crime.
And the optics of commuting the sentence of people specifically like this is a horrific tarnish on your legacy.
Yeah. So yeah, in addition to that person, another person who was on the receiving end of a commuted sentence was former Judge Michael Conahan, who was convicted in a massive Kids for Cash scandal where he was getting millions of dollars in kickbacks for absolutely destroying the lives of children and teenagers by funneling them through for-profit youth detention centers. They were paying him to send kids to these for-profit juvenile
in some cases might have been innocent.
Yeah. And this is when we talk about the profit motive in things that should be public services. This is one of the most grotesque examples of why it's bad to do that.
Yeah. So our for-profit healthcare industry is appalling. Our for-profit prison industry, right up there with it. It's insane.
Yeah, they have a motive to do it as full as possible.
Get ready for a for-profit person.
So anyway, this judge was sentenced to 17 years in prison, which, yeah, that's a long time behind bars for a very serious crime.
Yeah.
But yeah, it fell under the blanket conditions for Biden's commutations. And this move has obviously infuriated a ton of people who were victims during this scandal. And it even pissed off Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro in the process.
Yeah.
From Politico. President Joe Biden this week granted clemency to the former Pennsylvania judge Michael Conahan as part of a mass commutation covering nearly 1,500 people who had been released on home confinement during the COVID pandemic. Conahan's inclusion sparked harsh blowback, with Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro criticizing Biden for getting it absolutely wrong. I do feel strongly that President Biden got it absolutely wrong and created a lot of pain here in northeastern Pennsylvania, Shapiro, a Democrat, said at an event on Friday. Conahan deserves to be behind bars, not walking as a free man.
Conahan was convicted in 2011 of funneling juveniles to for-profit detention centers in exchange for more than $2 million in kickbacks. He was sentenced to more than 17 years in prison after pleading guilty to racketeering conspiracy charges. At the time, the U.S. Attorney for the Middle District of Pennsylvania called the scandal, quote, the worst in Pennsylvania's history, forcing the state to vacate thousands of juvenile convictions. But the White House did not consider any of those details when weighing the charges against Conahan or the cases of other individuals who received commutations on Thursday, said the administration official who was granted anonymity to discuss the clemency process. Instead, the administration granted commutations en masse to all those who fit the broader set of parameters, touting the move as a record-setting act of mercy carried out just before the holidays. Some victims of the Kids for Cash scandal have publicly criticized Biden in the wake of Conahan's commutation. Amanda Laura, who was one of the juveniles wrongly imprisoned in the scheme, told a local television station that the move amounted to a big slap in the face for us once again. Sandy Fonzo, whose son died by suicide after Conahan placed him in juvenile detention, said in a statement to the Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania newspaper Citizen's Voice that she was shocked and I am hurt. Conahan's actions destroyed families, including mine, and my son's death is a tragic reminder of the consequences of his abuse of power, she said. So again,
God,
how do you fuck up this badly? You've got essentially 2 months to do arguably some of the best work of your entire administration.
You have 4 years to, you don't have to wait until the last second to be like, oh, fuck, I need to come up with, like, what I'm going to do, who I'm going to, like, this is, it's just another example of this guy being shitty at his fucking job as president and leaving a legacy
apparently
that is
not caring about it at all.
Not caring. What the fuck else are you doing? What are the people around you doing? You're just like opening up the book of federal convicts and like everyone on these pages, let them go. Who cares what the fuck they did? How could this possibly blow up in my face? Like, not even considering
also, like,
that.
Even if you were going to do that, why not do it with someone who's in for like nonviolent, like marijuana distribution crimes or something?
Yeah, like it's so easy and it's so fucking dumb that he fucked this up so badly.
It's like,
this is just
freeing
not
the
good.
kids for cash guy.
I'm sorry, there's no way to spin that.
No, it's awful.
These are all like genuinely like some evil fucking shit with
Even Santa Claus has a naughty and nice list.
Yeah.
Fucker.
Anyway, at least the actual vulnerable people in our nation, the CEOs and executives, people of means, are getting handled with the utmost care and compassion, with security details, plans of action, meetings with officials, and apparently an emergency hotline just for them to report potential threats. Here's more from Ken Klippenstein's newsletter. New York State is considering creating a special hotline exclusively for CEOs to report perceived threats, CNN reported this morning. Nice little reminder of just how responsive governments can be when it comes to corporate executives. Coming at the heels of the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, the proposal is a sign of the acute concern by government officials when it comes to business executives, even though there have not been any other documented attacks on CEOs, and the alleged shooter, Luigi Mangione, has been arrested. The lack of any concrete threat hasn't stopped officials from preparing for one. Last Thursday, New York Governor Kathy Hochul told MSNBC's Morning Joe about her plans to hold a proactive meeting on Tuesday with 175 corporate representatives, as well as Homeland Security and counterterrorism officials to discuss how to share intelligence with corporate security. According to Kathy Wild, CEO of the Partnership for New York City.
Let me call Langley. Give him the good news.
Good to know some people are taking care of it.
We wouldn't want our nation's best and brightest to ever even feel a moment of discomfort.
No.
We wouldn't even want them to have to like call 911 and wait like a normal person, like a fucking plebeian.
Or ever question that their decisions might affect the lives of other people. We don't want that thought to ever cross through their mind.
No, pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Well, finally today, a very stupid and disgusting story to cleanse the palate. Someone online is collecting loose hair, taping it to a fake styrofoam head, and dubbing that head Styro Steve.
I saw this and I didn't know what I was looking at.
Apparently there's two competing heads of hair.
Okay.
There's a TikTok one, and then there's one that's just on Twitter and Instagram.
Anyway, I don't even remember where I saw it. I was scrolling and I was like, that's whatever.
Gross. Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. Luckily for everyone who might be worried about their hair ending up in this guy's cool little winter project, he is only following around his girlfriend and collecting her loose hairs.
Yeah, this is the one I saw.
Apparently without her knowledge, though. And this is in order to meticulously tape all of this hair to a fake skull and post about it online.
It's a fun little project. It's not hurting anyone.
I agree. I think that this is like reminiscent of the old internet, and I'm fine with it. I'm sure that at the very least, the girlfriend might be like, it's weird that you put this online for everyone to see.
Girlfriends do leave little bits of hair all over the place. Your hair is everywhere, screaming infidelities.
Is that dashboard confessional?
It is.
Yeah. Anyways, with more on all of this, here's the Daily Dot. Styro Steve is the latest bit going viral on social media after an ex-user began to collect his girlfriend's shed hair and tape it to a styrofoam head. After launching the endeavor on Sunday, Steve's account already has over 18,000 followers as users watch his head grow hairier and hairier.
On Monday, the account owner posted a day 2 photo of Steve sporting more hair. The styrofoam head is already looking quite a bit fuller. They also created a poll asking other ex-users how long they think it will take before Steve has a full head of hair. It's currently a dead heat between 6 months and a year. According to one of the account's tweets, hair collecting is not a new hobby. Ever since I was a kid, I loved women's hair, they write. I remember carrying around Ziploc bags with names of girls in my high school. Okay, this is getting fucking weird.
Yeah,
When I saw loose strands of their hair, I would take them and put them into the baggies. I must have had 12 full bags of different hair. All right, I'm gonna need that hotline.
Hello? This is the CEO. I'm in trouble. Oh, jeez.
They had the saga of Styro Steve blew up overnight. Though the account was created back in March 2024, the owner either deleted all other posts or put up the first one on Sunday, which now has over 6 million views, 96,000 likes, and thousands of comments. Many of their other posts have hundreds of thousands or millions of views as eager fans watch Steve's progress. Yeah, I thought this was a little more fun before I heard from Steve himself, but now I don't like it.
Steve,
I'm worried. I'm very worried about that girlfriend of his.
Yeah,
she needs to run.
I would venture to say that if your significant other, if you're finding bags full of hair or a head with hair taped to it, run. And yeah, going back on that, I would venture guess that this guy probably still has those bad hair.
Yeah. Why would he get rid of them? It's perfectly good hair.
Every once in a while, I pull a little bit out, set it on fire, and just breathe it in.
I mean, I do something like this with my dogs because their hair just ends up fucking everywhere. And, I'll shape it into a little Trump wig and put it on their heads. And it looks
put it on your head.
No, disgusting. I put it on their heads, and they look really. They're just like, what the hell's going on? But they got like the Donald Trump hair, and it's funny.
Hello, CDO hotline. Elliot's a freak.
And there was on the Flight of the Concorde show, one of them had he'd been, every time he got a haircut, he'd save the hair and tape it to a bike helmet so that the bike helmet just looked like hair. Yeah, that was clever too.
All right, well.
A lot more and a lot less creepy than any of this shit. Scumbag Steve over here.
Styro Steve. Cool name. Anyways, that's it for today's episode. We will be back, of course, with more news for you very soon. In the meantime, a couple of requests. It's the season of giving. Wouldn't it be lovely if you clicked the thank button or the join button to show us how much you care?
'Tis the season for liking our video.
No, the join button.
And joining our yeah.
You're saying thanks for a great year of entertainment. Here's the Christmas gift. Here's the thank button. Here's the join button.
We're turning the iPad around.
Yes. Just gonna ask you a couple questions. Anyways, what we really care about is clicking that like button. It's totally free for you to do, and you should do it right now. Click the like button under the video. Really helps our channel grow. Leave a comment, talk about whatever you want down there, or anything we discussed today. And please, check out the videos that are popping up over here. Our most recent episodes. We got the Rizzler over here, folks. We will see you very, very shortly for some more news. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this video, we are once again heading to the Boston area. You know, we got the big dogs, like you got Florida, you got Texas, but all big mass, they're really up there giving it the old college try, with cases like Anna Walsh, Karen Reed, and today's story, Sandra Birchmore. A story of monsters hiding in plain sight, monsters of the very worst kind. But before we get into it, please subscribe to see new videos every single week. Now, you and I, let's give it a give. This whole story takes us to Canton, Massachusetts. Yeah, folks, yeah. Literally the exact same place as Karen Reed. Yeah, and this story, it also, if you can believe it, involves the police. Hot diggity, what's in the donuts? On February 1st, 2021, 23-year-old Sandra Birchmore was seen for the very last time entering her Canton apartment. She was quite distraught at the time, and almost 4 hours later, a man who was making sure he could not be identified walked in after her. Almost 30 minutes later, he leaves. And over the following months and years, the entire disturbing and creepy history and the tragic life of Sandra Birchmore, it would just come spilling out. The case of Sandra Birchmore, it really begins, folks, to get back to the beginning. It begins with Boston PD's Young Explorers Club. Young Explorers is kind of like a cross between Army Cadets and like Boy Scouts. It's designed to establish trust between young people and the police department, with active and retired members of the force acting as sort of mentors to youth in the community. Obviously, as you can imagine, the more vulnerable somebody is to falling into a life of crime, the more important it is to establish from like a very young age a positive relationship with the police force. The big issue, though, of course, is that it also has a habit of putting people who are young people, who are very vulnerable, in close contact with some very powerful people. And as we know, power, it only does good things to people. People only become better when they become more powerful, if you ask me. That's all I've ever seen. In March 2010, 12-year-old Sandra Birchmore, she was very desperate for some meaning in her very young life. Sandra hadn't had the easiest start. She was raised by her mom and grandmom, but would pass away when she was a teen, and things at home were pretty rough, and she was known to act out in school. She'd also been known to tell lies a lot. Just everything about Sandra's behavior sort of screamed for attention, which is common with people, young people especially, who just need somebody to care for them, which was something Sandra herself, she was really lacking that. You know, she had these people who were looking out for her, but it wasn't enough for her. Like, one of the teachers at Sandra's school would describe her as being, quote, socially dysfunctional. Put that on my tombstone, please. She had a hard time with students and teachers alike, and she was feeling very alone at a very pivotal point in a young person's life, and that is when she came across the Young Police Explorers program. Sandra actually idolized cops from a very young age thanks to a strong relationship with an army veteran named Gerald. Gerald was essentially a surrogate grandfather to Sandra and was more than happy to nurture her desire to join the police force. Gerald had been able to keep Sandra on the straight and narrow, so when he passed away in May of 2012, Sandra was even more lost. Hence why, when she came across the, police explorers program in her hometown of Stoughton, she was absolutely determined to get in. So then enter Matthew Farwell, that confident, dominating, tall, strong figure. Ex-military, Matthew joined the Stoughton police force in 2012 when he was 26 years old. Stoughton, by the way, it's where Sandra grew up. It's like the next town over from Canada. The same year he joined the police, looking to improve his future prospects with the force, he signed up as an instructor with the Explorers Club. That was how he first met Sandra Birchmore, who was 14 when they first met. Sandra and Matthew would meet up regularly at the Stoughton Public Library, where he would help her with homework and they would friend each other on Facebook. And so to, the outside world, which I guess at this point is you and I, it looked sort of like, Sandra had finally found that mentor figure she was so desperate to find in her young life, finally someone who would look out for her and yada yada. And so it seemed like life had kind of sort of figured itself out. Fast forward 9 years. On February 4th, 2021, police in Canton, Massachusetts, they were alerted after Sandra failed to show up to work, for a few days. At this point, Sandra, 23 years old, she was working in a school, and it was her colleagues who noticed she hadn't been seen for a while. She had last been seen February 1st, so 3 days earlier, when school had been forced to shut down early due to something like seriously bad snowstorms they were having at the time. So officers arrived to her Canton apartment to do a welfare check on her, knocked on the door. Nothing coming from the inside, so then they asked the property manager for a key, let themselves in, have a go around. Now the door was locked, there was no signs of a break-in in her apartment. Announcing themselves as they moved through, still no answer. But the reason there would be no answer would become apparent almost immediately. Sandra's body was found leaning against the closet door in her bedroom. She was cold to the touch and appeared to have been dead for some time. The strap from a duffel bag had been tied to the closet doorknob with the other end wound around Sandra's neck, strangling her. Now, initially, the scene looked like perhaps self-inflicted. An unusual one, but one nonetheless. And it was treated that way by both Canton PD and Mass State Police. This was soon backed up by the state's medical examiner. And it very nearly ended there. I mean, officially it did, because to those who personally knew Sandra, it did. Right from the beginning, Sandra's friends and her family they had their issues. They're like, that does not ring true for old Sandy at all. She was doing great in work and life, was just good, doing great in general. And the little cherry on top was that Sandra had just found out she was pregnant with her very first child, something Sandra ecstatic about. She couldn't wait. She was planning to tell everybody, really soon on Valentine's Day, she was going to do a big announcement for everybody to know. And Sandra's behavior on her last day, people had spoken to her earlier, no way indicative of, what the police would say it was. She'd not only booked appointments, but Sandra had even been seen on CCTV in the foyer of her apartment building, coming and going with a rubber broom in her hand as she cleared the snow from her car. And that night, Sandra had a visitor, dressed like he's on the prowl for healthcare CEOs, but a visitor nonetheless. Who was he? Sandra's therapist later told investigators that Sandra had shown no indication at all that she was even in the slightest bit depressed. This story truly is about some very shady things that happened in plain sight, and a killer who is known to, like, everybody. But guess what? What if, for instance, you didn't want to be found, you didn't want people to know where you are? It's the holidays, which means we are all sort of trying to hide from people. Am I right? Well, you've got to use the greatest, the GOAT. That is NordVPN. Nord makes sure that I'm not tracked because it hides my IP address. Your IP address can tell people where you are. Physically, it's linked to where you are literally using the internet. But with Nord, no one can tell because you can pick anywhere in the world you want to connect to the internet from. Trying to track me? My VPN says I'm in Brazil, but in reality I ain't. Not yet. It looks beautiful though. But what if you wanted to access content that is only available in certain countries? Well, guess what? You can virtually be in any country. Ain't no one gonna stop you. Not if you use the best, the most reliable VPN, that is Nord. But it ain't just a VPN. Nord doesn't only keep your location safe and secure. Nord also has incredible features like Nord's Mesh Net, where you can safely connect to any other device in the world. Or how about a password manager, a data scanner, or a dark web monitor that gives you alerts if your credentials have been leaked? Or what about Nord's threat protection that blocks the various websites and ads, scans files, stops trackers in their tracks, I guess. Nord's goal is and has always been to make the internet better than it is today, which we can all agree could be a lot better than it is today, free from online threats, censorship, surveillance. Because the internet these days, I mean, who knows what's going to happen, but it's unlikely to give us more freedom. And that's why it helps to support folk like Nord who have got your back. So become safer with a click by downloading NordVPN today. And if you use my special little link, that is nordvpn.com/thatchapter, you can get an exclusive deal just in time for the holidays. Get a mega discount on NordVPN's 2-year plan, and you also get 4 extra months right here at nordvpn.com/thatchapter. And it's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Nord's your all-in-one, keep you safe and private on the internet type thing with an amazing deal just in time for holidays, folks. So you know what? If you're looking for something under the tree, how about, I mean, you'll probably have to put your laptop there because it's an online thing, but you know what I mean. So get that big old discounted 2-year plan, and guess what? You also get 4 of those months for free. Jeez, thank you so much to NordVPN for supporting that chapter. Now let's get back to our story. And someone else who thought Sandra's death was worth a closer look was in fact someone from Sandra's hometown of Stoughton.
Today I have the pleasure of bringing in Stoughton Police Chief Donna Matthew. Thank you for having me. Yeah, welcome to the show.
Stoughton's first female police chief, Donna McNamara. Looking over various statements from people close to Sandra, Chief McNamara had become alarmed by the sheer amount of them that seemed to refer to a long-standing relationship between Sandra and 3 of her own police officers, 3 Stoughton cops. One name that kept coming up in particular again and again was Matthew Farwell, who was now a detective. The 2 other men were Farwell's fellow officers, Robert Devine.
I am Stoughton Deputy Police Chief Robert Devine.
Who was the man who run the Explorers program when Sandra had been there, and William Billy Farwell, Matthew's twin brother, a cop in the very same police department. Chief McNamara was concerned enough with what she was hearing that she actually initiated an internal affairs investigation, if you can believe that. And the internal affairs unit team, they spent a fair amount of time digging through Sandra's cell phone, which had been found, right beside her body. And the messages they found on her phone between herself, Sandra, and Matthew Farwell, they... Buckle up, folks. They really revealed the disturbing and twisted nature of Matthew and Sandra's relationship. Now, none of the messages indicated a direct, threat of violence or something like that. But what they did do was expose Matthew Farwell as a predator, like the very worst kind of predator. And he would be As my old granny would say, a real sack of shit. A conversation between the two, the investigators found, was them reminiscing about the first time they did the dirty. And calculating the dates, Matthew would have been 27 and Sandra 15. So that was already enough for Matthew to be placed on paid leave while the internal affairs investigation looked further. The messages well and clearly indicated that Matthew had spent a hell of a lot of time, a hell of a lot of his own time, get a hobby or something, into grooming Sandra when she was a child and, you know, telling her, oh, he loved her and all this kind of stuff, which he absolutely did not. Sandra appeared, though, fully believed he did. Her messages to him would be about emotions and feelings. He texts back, just bringing it right back to, you know, doing it. Damn, this story is creepy. It'd sicken your arse. I mean, you can find a lot of the messages online. I won't verbally at least go through them because they are disturbing, graphic, and you might end up with your head in the toilet. Now Matthew would, you know, to internal affairs admit, okay, yeah, we slept together once when she was of age and we were drunk and it was just one time. When in reality, going through this messages, it had started when she was a child, going on, you know, from her time at the Young Explorers Club to her death for 8 years. They had been having an affair. It had begun in 2013. The same year, Matthew Farwell was getting married. So while he was marrying his wife, he was cheating on her. The entire thing is gross. Like, he would meet up with her after school in his police cruiser, and if she got bad grades or she didn't share her cell phone location, he would just do, you know, make her do incredibly degrading acts. And if she even mentioned any other men, mother of God. Despite everything with Matthew, in 2015, Sandra was able to get her high school diploma. Unfortunately, with school over and the Explorers Club no longer an option, Sandra was suddenly again lacking the direction she needed. Matthew, meanwhile, was trying. In May 2016, he and his wife, along with their 2 children, moved into a nice old 4-bedroom house. In stark contrast, Sandra lost her mother, who died suddenly of a massive stroke at just 52 years old. Less than a month later, she lost her grandmother. Sandra was again all alone and very vulnerable, and it seemed to be only getting more so. In 2020, things were at an all-time low for Sandra. At one point, her aunt, who had kind of begun looking out for her, her aunt became so worried about Sandra that she called the cops, fearful she might, you know, do something. So the cops arrived and they brought her to hospital. Throughout this entire ordeal, Sandra had been texting Matthew, you know, letting him know what was going on. And then so, you know, the doctors clear her. We don't think she's a threat to herself or to others. Sandra then goes out, texts Matthew, you know, okay, I've been cleared by the doctors, you know, sorry for worrying you during this entire ordeal. Matthew replied back, no need to apologize. I wasn't worried. What a guy. Sandra was struggling to keep her life on track. All the while, Sandra's relationship with Matthew Farwell was getting more and more abusive. And Matthew Farwell wasn't the only man in a position of power who was taking full advantage of Sandra's vulnerable nature. The other 2 officers I mentioned previously, Matthew's twin Billy Farwell and Robert Devine, had also taken advantage of her. It was now full-on trafficking at this point. Wow.
All 3 men, the Farwell brothers and Devine, violated their oaths of office and should never have the privilege of serving any community as a police officer. Through a sustained and deliberate combination of lies, deceit, and treachery, they violated the policies and the core values of the Stoughton Police Department. Not to mention human decency.
The entire story, life of Sandra Birchmore is so incredibly tragic. You know, the initial verdict on what happened to her, it, as tragic it is, as sad as it is to say, it would almost wouldn't be surprising. But then the FBI got involved. Usually homicide cases aren't within the remit of the feds at all, not unless there are some very particular circumstances. In Sandra's case, it was the combination of the original verdict being changed to a potential homicide, with Matthew as the prime suspect, and the revelation of Sandra being the victim of grooming, despite the mountain of evidence from the phones in the possession of authorities. None of it, however, featured a real threat to kill Sandra. The FBI needed a breakthrough. It would take a couple of years for that breakthrough to break through, but when it did, oh boy. On the morning after Sandra died, Matthew and his wife, didn't they just welcome new baby into the world? Good for them. As every new parent does these days, Matthew proudly posted a photo of himself holding the infant on his Facebook page. To those investigating Sandra's death, there was something eerily familiar about this photo. Specifically, what Matthew was wearing. In the picture, the smiling 6'4" Matthew was wearing an all-black hoodie, blue jeans, and brown shoes. Pretty regular, right? Well, normally it would be fairly regular, except in this case it just so happens to have been exactly the same clothes as the large man seen entering Sandra Birchmore's apartment was wearing on February 1st. And wouldn't one of the cleaners from her apartment building say, "That guy in the CCTV, he looks really like the guy who helped Sandra move into this building"? Yeah, Matthew. Sandra was seen at 5:15 p.m. collecting a food delivery, and then later as she returned from clearing the snow from her car at 5:46 p.m. After that, her phone activity showed her texting friends and shopping for baby provisions. The mystery man, wearing the same outfit as Matthew, was seen entering the building at 9:27 p.m. Analysis of Matthew's phone showed he had texted Sandra at 9:08 p.m., asking if he could stop by, to which she replied 2 minutes later that the back door was open. Sandra's phone recorded her last steps as being at 9:40 p.m., after which it never moved. Minutes later, the mystery man left the building. And about an hour later, after that mystery man was seen leaving Sandra Birchmore's apartment building, didn't Matthew Farwell just show up at the hospital where his wife was about to give birth? Exactly when Matthew Farwell allegedly decided to murder Sandra Birchmore, we can't exactly say, but it definitely had been planned. In January, a couple of weeks before Sandra Birchmore was killed, Matthew had called over requesting a key to her apartment so he could come over whenever he wants, and Sandra said, "Here you go." She handed the key over to him while they were in her apartment, and Sandra would say, and it was noticeable because she said this to friends and family, she said that when Matthew was there, getting the key off her, he was like snooping around her apartment building, looking in the bathroom, checking the closets. She thought this was weird. She kind of waved off that red flag, though. The motive? Unfortunately, it's quite simply the obvious one. Sandra Birchmore was pregnant. She was expecting a baby that was Matthew's baby. She had told him she was pregnant in December just before, and she was excited about the future. A future that she wanted him to very much be a part of. And despite his assurances to Sandra, can't wait. He very much could wait and did not want to be a part of that future. His wife was expecting a baby. So, his own family was growing. And so, well, he really, tragically, she was a loose end to him at this point. Sandra had also found out that Matthew and his wife were expecting their third baby, something that devastated her and also caused Sandra to push Matthew to leave his wife for her. Sandra had even drafted a big old long message to Matthew Farwell's wife saying, "Here, listen, we've been having an affair since I was a child." Trying, had to send it to expose what had been going on. Drafted it, but in the end, she decided not to send that letter. And instead she just went back, "Leave your wife, be with me." And, well, Matthew could see only one way out.
This story has played out in several Massachusetts communities. Let's show you a map right now. It's in Stoughton is where Matthew Farwell met Sandra Birchmore and allegedly groomed her as a sexual predator. In Canton is where Birchmore was found dead and what the FBI has said was a murder and not a suicide. And in Revere is where Farwell was arrested this morning by a SWAT team.
In August 2024, an arrest warrant was issued for Matthew. 38-year-old Matthew Farwell was charged with murdering Sandra. In addition to these CCTV and phone logs, the FBI also consulted with another forensics investigator who contradicted the original police account that Sandra's death was self-inflicted. He could tell from the way her neck bone had snapped, somebody had strangled her. Since his arrest at the end of August 2024, Matthew remains in federal
Sorry,
custody.
feeding my kitty.
His twin predator brother was released from duty. He wasn't actually decertified as an officer because of his involvement with Sandra, but rather because he was found to have conducted unlawful searches on his and his brother's names in the police database. Officer Devine resigned in August 2022. Matthew has yet to be given a trial date, but it wouldn't surprise me, given the mountain of evidence against him, if he were to come to a deal to plead guilty to escape the big-ass book that will hopefully be thrown at him. And there you have it. You know, a real tragic story of a very young, vulnerable child woman who had been taken advantage, you know, of in the very worst way by people she looked up to her entire life, and they just turned out to be friggin' monsters. Sandra was a person who needed somebody, anybody, to care for her, to care about her when those closest to her passed away. The people she thought would ended up being the worst kind of monsters who used her up, and then when it became inconvenient, murdered her. She was betrayed by the people she thought cared, but in reality did not think about her at all. I hope a lot of people are now, because anyone who does what they did to Sandra should get the book thrown at them. Sandra did not get what she deserved, but I hope these sexy shits do. Sad stuff. So you know what, next time you're driving through Canton or Stoughton or, well, maybe anywhere just south of Boston, just really avoid trying to be pulled over. Do your best. Drive safe. Thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me that you're here. Appreciate it a lot. As usual, please check out the That Chapter podcast. Brand new episode every single Monday morning. It's all different stories to what I tell here.
Alpha male content creators get more wedgies than the men that they're trying to scam. They get made fun of almost as much as bronies used to back in the day. And right now there's a new clown that everyone is taking turns shooting spitballs at, and I had never heard of this alpha male before, which is extremely rare, like Halley's Comet. Because when it comes to alpha males, I treat it like I'm Professor Oak. I'm obsessed with it. I'm studying them. I'm going out there into the field researching them. Yet somehow this gold mine slipped under my radar.
Here are 3 weird signs that no one thinks you're attractive. Number 1, you have to wait in line wherever you go. People tend to let attractive people skip lines.
No, they don't. Not even in your wildest dreams is that a normal occurrence. Very few souls on God's green earth are going to let someone cut them in line just because they're attractive. Like maybe there's a couple isolated cases where some virgin goober who used like an Ask Reddit thread looking for advice on how to break the ice with a girl might let her like cut in front of him at a coffee shop or something in the hopes that maybe it'll spark a conversation, they'll get a number and they'll get married. But that's not normal. Attractive people don't just get to part the seas like Moses anytime they walk into a Chipotle. Like, who even hears that and believes him? That's never happened to him, I promise, and it doesn't happen to anybody.
What is that, Chipotle? When you go somewhere and you're an attractive person, people tend to give you more favors. If you're not getting these kind of favors from people, people don't think you look that good, bro.
I just can't picture someone who sits down and listens to that hogwash and like seriously reflects on it going, damn, now that I think about it, no one's ever let me cut them in line randomly, all because of my Adonis-like figure and great looks. I guess I'm really just not good looking. This is something that clearly happens for beautiful people. Fucking cartoons don't even have that happen.
Number 2, women never buy you expensive gifts. When you're an attractive guy, women tend to buy you things of real hard work. The better you look, the more women are willing to go above and beyond to show that they appreciate you.
Jinkies, this guy thinks that being attractive is like a cheat code in a video game. Like everyone just gives over all of their loot to you because you've reached max charisma. Like you just stand at the Grand Exchange in RuneScape and people are just giving you all of their items or some shit, all just because you're good looking. What woman is going up to a stranger and giving him a Louis Vuitton bag because he's great looking? Also, why are you getting a Louis Vuitton bag? I imagine what happened here is he bought her an expensive gift and then told her to give it to him for the sake of this fucking stupid video. That's what I think was going on with that little scene there. I just love his mentality around it though. You might be ugly as shit if people aren't letting you cut in line and if they're not giving you Gucci bags. I'm just saying. Every time I go somewhere, everyone says, holy shit, he's beautiful. Everyone, move, move. Can't you see he wants to eat Chipotle? Clear a path, move. He's so good looking. Go on. Also, throw your wallets at him, quick. He deserves more items. We have to shower him with gifts to show him how much we appreciate his good looks, and he's gracing us with his presence.
And number 3, no one ever tells you bless you. When you sneeze, as an unattractive person, nobody notices you exist. The more attractive you are, everybody's telling you bless you. Why? Because they think you look good. When you don't look good, no one trying to bless you.
This technique is so advanced, I'm shitting my pants. I swear to God, I thought this was satire. I thought this was all a joke, and I thought it was kind of a banger skit, like a parody, but it's not. This is actually, he actually believes these things. This isn't a joke he's making. These are real videos, and this is his real whole personality. It's crazy. He truly believes that people saying bless you in public is an indication that you're good looking, and if someone doesn't say bless you, or if people don't say bless you after you sneeze, you must be ugly. Does he have a brain of like a 6-year-old? What? Just imagine that. Achoo! Get the fuck out of here. This ugly guy sneezed. He sneezed. Hey, that sneeze came from an ugly guy. No one say bless you. This guy looks like shit. He's got a stupid face. Fuck you. Boo! Boo! You're ugly. Meanwhile, if a pretty person sneezes, everyone's like throwing money at them and showering with gifts, letting them cut in line and saying bless you.
Here are some weird signs that you're an average man. Number 1, no one ever talks about your looks. Guys, if you never hear how handsome you are, you're an average dude. Especially from women, if you don't hear how cute, attractive, good-looking you are, you're average, bro. Number 2, your net worth is under 6 figures. Guys, you no longer can be a man, an able-bodied man in 2023 in the Western world and have under 6 figures. You're making under 6 figures. Women won't even take you seriously, bro. You're a regular dude. You have to make more money.
This is just a box that you are obligated to check if you want to be an alpha male content creator or a red pill content creator. It has to be all about 6-figure income. That is a necessity. You will not make it in the space unless you are financially shaming the people that are watching you. I don't know why the audience loves to be humiliated by the person they're watching about their finances. It's some real cuck energy shit, but it is a work climate. So he's putting in the work there, letting people know like, hey, no. You gotta have 6 figures or else you're just an average cringe beta. And also, if women aren't telling you you're handsome, you're average. Mom tells me I'm handsome all the time, so I don't need to worry about that.
And number 3, you don't have abs. Every single man should be between 10 to 12% body fat. Being in great shape shouldn't be a choice for you. If you don't have abs, bro, you're pretty average.
It's like listening to a teenage girl describe what she thinks a man should be after watching Twilight. It's so embarrassing. Anyway, though, he speaks about being average as if it's the worst thing in the world, like this unforgivable sin. And that's just a sign of the times where everyone thinks that you need to be like the special snowflake. Everyone's got to be like the most unique Sigma grinder, or else what's the point? I just find that to be so pathetic. He is an average guy. This is not a guy who's going in the street turning heads. Very few people are, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let him convince you otherwise. People aren't letting him cut in line. There's probably plenty of times people don't say bless you when he sneezes in public. And I promise you, sodden panties aren't dropping when he mentions his net worth to women. He even posts some videos of him out in the field talking to women, and they are damn near unwatchable. He has the same amount of riz as someone on Discord does in a Valorant server. It's rough. Like, I've got to show you this one.
Where are you heading to now?
I was actually going to go to the mall.
Okay.
Yeah.
You seem like a cool person.
Yeah.
We should hang out.
I have a boyfriend.
Okay. No worries. Thank you. You guys to rate my body 1 through 10.
I guess about a 10.
And you?
8.
What do you think I need to work on to make it a 10?
It ain't nothing you can work on. You just short.
Yikes. Oof. That comment about being short hits me right here. 5'6" gang. I feel you, brother. That's rough. But the first one is about like how to handle rejection. In his credit where credit's due, in his defense, at least he wasn't like a lot of the other alpha male weirdos that just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and don't take no for an answer. At least after like the painful 60 seconds he spends of just absolutely hammering this poor woman with tons and tons of questions, he at least just bows out respectfully, like, oh, okay, no worries. After just wasting a minute of her time just asking nonsense questions for the sake of his video. I spared you a lot of that misery. I couldn't help but leave in that last little tidbit where he dropped the actual iconic line of, "You seem like a cool person." That is verbatim what every trash pickup artist ever has said on camera. And it has never ever worked ever, and never ever will. It was pretty bad. Anyway though, he's not playing a character, these aren't satirical. His whole life and his whole career revolves around his physique and his looks. He's a narcissist. When he jerks off, he's probably not even coming from whatever video he's watching or whatever he's stimulating himself with. He's probably coming to the fact that he gets the honor of touching his own penis. Like, this guy, everything he says and does is all about his own interpretation of his beauty. And he tries to impart that onto his audience and tries to give them advice to guide them down his path of what he believes it is to be a beautiful man. And it's very odd. It's so weird. I actually went to his channel and he was streaming at the time. And he has a lot of content where he just has men call him and he'll rate them and try and improve their looks. So he tries to turn these dudes into better looking men in his eyes. Like, well, I wouldn't fuck you like that. So here's what I would do to help you get to a fuckable point. And I actually tuned in for quite a while. There were a couple of moments where he offered like legitimately good advice in between kind of like shitting on a couple of people, but he did sometimes offer like advice to people that were seeming a bit lost on things, which was cool to see. But then it was sandwiched in between just making fun of the person and offering dog shit advice. I do think there is real value in sometimes having someone come in and just be blunt about things that you might want like a second opinion on, like, hey, I'm not exactly sure if this hairstyle is working, what do you think? And just having someone be kind of honest about it. I wish someone would have done that for me in high school when I shaved the sides of my head but kept the top long so it was a fucking reverse rat tail. I looked like some kind of crazy villain out of the X-Men. But I'm not convinced he's the fucking oracle people should be going to get answers to all their questions or get advice from. It's a real mixed bag, and it seems like most of the time people just end up being the butt of the joke for him and his chat, as opposed to trying to actually offer legitimately good advice. But the point is, his whole identity online is revolving around being a narcissist and trying to be like the alpha male presenting to other men to try and like give them advice and put them on the path of alpha, which is so cringe.
This is how you sit like a fucking man. You don't sit with your legs wide open. You don't sit with your legs crossed. You don't sit hunched over. You sit up straight. Legs are shoulder width apart. Back is relaxed. Shoulder blades are relaxed. You don't sit like you're scared. You don't sit scratching your head. Little things like this, guys, affect how people treat you. If you're at a meeting or you're on a date with a girl and you like this or you like this, you know, like, who is this little girl? Sit like a man, comfortable. You gonna look like one.
Sitting tutorials. Really, brother? You know what a man doesn't do? Teach other men how to sit. Try and preach about how a man should sit. What the fuck? No, you don't sit like this. 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 You sit like this. And you sit like this. And you sit like this. And then you sit like this. And then maybe you sit like this with a little bit of honking. And then women are gonna love you. And then they're gonna let you cut in line. And if you sneeze, everyone's saying bless you, I swear to God. And it's all because of how you sit.
It is possible to make your junk bigger, bro. You just don't know how. There have literally been clinical studies that prove that using traction devices, lengthening devices can improve your size over time. The problem that men have is you don't know which routine or what to do to actually make it work. What I'm gonna say is improving your size is possible, but it takes a lot of time and you need to do it the safe way. I've been improving my size for over the last year and a half. I've helped other guys do the same thing. You can see their results as well.
Please don't tell me you are giving men advice on how to make their cock bigger in Discord messages. That is so fucking weird. What? Oh, God. So I told you Jelking is back. Like, Jelking has made a huge resurgence. So he has a couple videos about making your penis bigger, like enhancing wee-wee size. And so he has like a couple of shorts about it. Brother, what? And he's talking about how he's been working on his size too, which is a huge self-report on that. That's telling me that you got a small wiener and you're coping with it a little bit. Like, man, why? This is not alpha anymore. It never really was in the first place, but Jesus. Giving PP enhancement size tips through Discord messages? What? Anyway, though, I'll stop yapping about it. It's just always so fun to find a new alpha male to talk about and joke about. So I just had to talk about it a little bit. That's it. So yeah.
Hey guys, my name is Chad. And this is where the magic happens. The Etsy magic. If there's one thing I've learned in my time on Earth, is that things don't always go how we want them to. And when that happens, there's only so much you can do. You can go to therapy, join a pickleball league, or as I've recently learned, you can go to Etsy.com and pay a witch to make things go your way. I've started getting a lot of spiritual TikToks on my feed recently. Some are just your typical tarot readings that usually go like, I'm seeing that a sexy Libra wants to date you, and also you're about to win $10 million. And that's clearly insane. I would never date a Libra. But I've also been getting TikToks where people have decided to use the spiritual realm for their own advantage.
Me acting like he's crazy for texting me saying he misses me even though I paid a random witch on Etsy $5 to put a spell on him.
A new life hack on TikTok is enlisting the help of witches on Etsy in order to get whatever you want, basically. If you want your ex to come crawling back, if you want your situationship to text you more often, just put a spell on them. Because if there's any guy worth pursuing, it's one that requires supernatural forces to want to talk to you. And this is nothing new. It's a tale as old as time. We'll go to great lengths for love, even if it means buying a spell to get it. But now instead of having to promise your firstborn child, just send him a little cash app. For only $19.99, you too can get a guy named Daryl to call you 20 times in 2 minutes. I've gotten a pretty similar result by not paying my credit card bill, but that guy's name is Capital One. Personally, I really like the idea of being able to get powerful magic from the same place you'd get a resin keychain. Welcome, traveler. Browse my wares. Could I interest you in handmade earrings that were definitely not drop shipped, or perhaps an incantation that turns all your wrongdoing to dust?
Dirty, Black Ops. Get to work.
I also have cheats. So after seeing so many success stories, I was curious. I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. Maybe there's an Etsy spell that can make the months November through February disappear, so I don't have to live through them. Or if there's a spell to make someone call you more, maybe there's a spell that can make Capital One stop calling me. That guy is obsessed with me. It's honestly really embarrassing for him. So I decided to do some shopping. Some Etsy shopping. Okay, we're gonna try and find some Etsy spells that are gonna help us find love. Maybe some spells that are gonna make us look really good and give us a jawline. But someone who can give you something even better than that is today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Bombas. Guys, you may not know this, but it's December. And you know what happens in December? Cold. And you know who doesn't like the cold? Your toes, your little tootsies. So thank goodness that Bombas has the rootinest, tootinest, warminest socks that you've ever done seen. They've got running socks, calf socks, ankle socks, all made with soft, comfortable material that'll cradle your little tootsies and keep them nice and warm. Maybe sing them a lullaby. It won't do that. It's not included. And the comfort doesn't stop there. With their new holiday drop, Bombas now offers cozy socks that are fuzzy outside and inside. Plus socks made with the softest wool and cashmere blends that'll have your toes jumping for joy this holiday season. Your Bombas purchase can also help spread a little joy, since every pair purchased equals one pair being donated to someone experiencing homelessness. Bombas makes the top 3 clothing items requested in homeless shelters, and so far has donated over 150 million of them. So your feet can feel good and do good by checking out Bombas and using code CHAD to get 20% off your first purchase. Thank you to Bombas for sponsoring, and let's get back to the video. Extreme Millionaire Lottery Spell. Done in less than 12 hours. Spell with me and my oldest grandmother. That's not that big of an achievement. You only have 2 grandmothers. $32.87, but it's on sale for 75% off. Usually it's $131.47. So it's actually like we're losing money if we don't buy this spell. The thing about buying Etsy spells that makes it a little difficult is that you aren't buying anything concrete, and I love buying concrete. The results of a spell can't be guaranteed, so you have no way of weighing the purchase or deciding if the seller is trustworthy or not. It's basically just having to believe that the seller will do what they say they will do. And if there's one kind of person I trust, say it with me, it's people selling me things on the internet. So the only real option I had was to go based on reviews, and those weren't always entirely helpful. Okay, so Tal Ehrlich, thank you for the good and fast service. So I guess that means that Tal won the lottery within the last 4 days? Yeah, that's right. I was homeschooled. Carol Ann said, Luna is an angel. I got my spell. It was super quick and on the night of the full moon, so extra strength. I haven't had a chance to try any lotteries or anything. Landed in hospital yesterday. Okay. Did the spell do that? Luna, I wish you all the love in the world for you and your grandmother. I'll let you know how I get on as soon as anything happens. Okay, so this is an interesting review because she hasn't actually received what she paid for, but she still left 5 stars. This toothbrush is gonna be really cool, and I wish the seller all the love in the world. We'll update you once I have the toothbrush. One might argue that I should have waited to write this review, but why do tomorrow what you can do today? That's what I'm always saying. That's what my oldest grandmother is always saying. Bring back Stubborn X spell. I would rather die. Detailed, brutal reading. What is a brutal reading? It's like they read you a book, but then at the end they beat the shit out of you. Brutal tarot reading, same hour. Brutally honest psychic reading. Okay. Chad, female, general. Like if I'm a war commander? Yes. Love. Is that a yes or no question? I don't know. Wait, or am I in love? Okay. No. Single. Career. Turbulent. Past life. Aren't you supposed to know that question? How am I supposed to know? I have no future. Snipers down. Advance. Hopefully not. And then the other goal can be that somebody confesses romantic feelings of some sort to me. And I know what you're thinking, Chad, set realistic goals and expectations. Don't set your goals too high. A lot of the spells I found had to do with love and obsession, with some specifically aimed for stubborn targets, and that's kind of fucked up. Super strong love spell for stubborn target. That's kind of gross. Whether you believe in spells or not, I think it's pretty uncool to try and force someone to be in love with you. Even if the magic doesn't work, I think it's bad to put that kind of intent out there. What do you mean you don't want to date me? I'm great. If I could take away your free will, I would. That's something I'd like to do, and I would if I could. I'm a catch. You. I'm a catch you. Removal of all negativity, spells, magic, evil eye, and curses on you. Okay, all right, maybe we should do this one because my dryer just stopped working. Actually, it started working too much. It won't turn off. My dryer spins no matter if I power it on or off, and I have to turn it off. I have to turn off the breaker. So I'm gonna do this one. And the next couple weeks were great luck-wise. I didn't notice any huge differences. I still had some repair issues around my place, but I did find this shirt. So my luck has turned all the way around. Another kind of spell I saw a lot were ones that claim to turn you into some kind of supernatural being. Become a vampire spell. Guys, oh my God. We can become the Hulk. Powerful transformation spell, vampirism spell, vampire ritual. Oh my God. What does that mean? Does that mean that I start drinking human blood? The description says absolutely nothing about what we can expect from this spell, but I'm expecting this. I'm expecting it to look like this AI generated image of this vampire that looks kind of like Henry Cavill, and then this AI generated image with someone who also looks like Henry Cavill. Also, guys, okay, I'm not gonna pass up the opportunity to be the Hulk. I'm not gonna pass up the quick cast, fast acting spell to give me supernatural strength. Add to cart. I also grabbed a spell called Best Body Spell, which promised me the physique of a Greek god. Oh wait, Best Body Spell. Here we go. This is the one I was looking for. We gotta get a spell that makes us sexy. Here's them casting the spell that's gonna give us abs. An 8-pack, preferably. I'm assuming that this is what happens when the spell takes effect. Really hoping my skin melts off of my skeleton. If that doesn't happen, I'm gonna be disappointed. Spells by Austin. Bye-bye, Austin. Bye-bye. I'm happy with this shop. Interesting spells, cast on time. Great conversation with Austin. Overall, I'm very satisfied. Nobody's getting to the gravy, the biscuits and gravy of the situation. I want to know when I can expect my abs to come in. I want to know when my biceps come in. Add to cart. And this one actually worked. I was hoping for Zeus-like abs, but I have 5 extra heads now. I just forgot to clarify which Greek god physique I was getting, and that's really on me. I mean, that's really on us. I also got an intelligence spell, not because I need it. I just wanted to test it out. Increase intelligence, same day cast. Increase memory ability, increase IQ magic spell, increase focus and attention. I've been looking for this my entire life. I'm gonna add this one to cart, and then we'll do a quiz, and then I'll take another quiz in 2 weeks after the spell has been cast and had enough time to take effect, and we'll see if I've gotten any smarter. Before I start and you judge my answers, okay, I want to reiterate, I was homeschooled. I did not have science classes or math classes. How many rings appear on the Olympic flag? There's like 6. Well, 6 isn't an option. What is the currency of Scotland? Haggis. Who painted Mona Lisa? Leonardo DiCaprio. They thought they got me with that one. What is the capital of Greece? I don't know. I don't live there. 84 out of 100. You're a trivia master. Your level of general knowledge, at least based on this house, is very impressive.
You got a problem with your eyes? Not coming. You want to get out of this alive? Better step up.
Okay, I'll see you guys in 1 to 2 weeks after the spell is completed and we're a genius with abs. And I'm gonna say that this one also worked. Testing this spell meant I had to conduct field research while investigating hypotheses, and if I hadn't bought the spell, I would never have done any of that. I hate critical thinking. I think what this proves is that frivolous online shopping makes me smarter, and I've always said that, and I've always believed that. Jack is taller than Peter, and Bill is shorter than Jack. L. Bill. Skill issue. Which of the following statements would be more accurate? Jack is taller than Peter and Bill is shorter than Jack. It doesn't matter because all of their hinge profiles would say they're 6 feet. Bill, Peter, Jack. Bill, Peter. This is so stupid. Why does this not make sense in my head, in my brain? What is this? I need to make a drawing. This is Jack. All right? Jack is taller than Peter. Peter is shorter than Jack. And then Bill is shorter than Jack. I kind of made them all the same height, so this is a very confusing drawing. This isn't gonna help a lot. I don't fucking know. And I don't really care. This could literally be what they look like based on the information that we've been provided with. I'm gonna lock it in. I'm gonna say it's impossible to tell whether they're taller than Bill, right? I don't know why that took me 40 minutes. Now imagine how long that would have taken me before the Etsy spell. That would have been a nightmare. I also got a customizable love spell without a specific target. The parameters of the spell are that someone is supposed to confess feelings for me within 2 weeks of it being cast. But after that time frame passed, nothing was happening. No one was professing their love for me. No one was calling me, except for Capital One. Take a hint, guy, right? This is pathetic. But I understand it can be daunting to confess feelings for someone, so I decided to give them a little push, just to help them take the first step. First up was Gabby Bell, aka Gabby Balls, aka the creator of the Bing Bong song. Hey, she seemed to be snacking. I decided to get to the bottom of this. What are you eating?
You know.
Oh,
Yep, no.
She was holding back, but I moved on. Anyway,
That's a
speaking
mango.
of things that are yummy, I was just wondering if there's something you want to tell me.
Gary Bell's so. Oh my God, this is so
There
funny.
was something she
That's
didn't want to
definitely
say,
mango.
or something she really wanted to say. So I have to go. So,
Aw.
but
Well, miss you.
do you? Do you?
As much as I love dried mango.
Okay, I'm gonna put this one down
I
as a
called
maybe then, because you really like that mango. All right, well, thanks.
Love you.
And there it was. Next up was my friend Josh Dare, aka Fortnite Extraordinaire. Just a quick heads up, this guy farts and lies a lot. Hey.
Hey, yeah, what's up?
I was just calling to see if there's anything that you've been wanting to tell me, something that might be hard to tell somebody typically. So then this is just an opportunity for you to tell me if there is something like that that you want to tell me.
You need to stop blaming all of your farts on me.
Here we go. I told you so.
There are so many times that we've been in a room together, and we've been on opposite sides of the room, and you've been blaming farts on me. I'm losing friendships. I've gotten warnings at work. I've gotten 2 write-ups.
We were getting off track. He wouldn't stop talking about his farts.
Like, you're a trusted friend, and I love hanging out with you, but, like, this can't keep going on.
Right, okay. I hear you. Unbelievable. He can't stop for even a minute. And I gotta go.
Okay, but, like, did you actually...
To document my transformation into the Incredible Hulk, I first needed to test my physical strength. Time to do our strength baseline test. Here we have, this is 20 pounds. Let's try to do 40, and then we'll see if I can do it by the end of the week. Oh my God!
Sending frag.
losing this fight.
Easy. Piece of cake. But after a while, I hadn't seen any real results. I was still just a weak, puny human who could barely do one full push-up. But then I realized I was missing the key component of becoming the Hulk. Obviously, to complete my transformation, I needed to get really freaking ticked off.
Green. Oh,
In
wait.
2 weeks, I'm gonna retry the 40 pounds now. Also, don't look at my feet because my shoes are stained. I said don't look at my... Is this 40 pounds? I feel like it's way easier to pick up now. I'm not joking. Why is this easier now? Yeah, that's pretty good, but let's see if I can do 40 in each hand.
You're the
Let's do
Hulk
that,
now.
and I need to fully be the Hulk, so if you could just, help me.
You're a 27-year-old iPad kid. You're constantly
Why is
changing
everyone in the world 27 except for me?
who you are as a person.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You can't speak to me that way, okay? Like that.
Are you actually trying right now? Yes!
And then I was just waiting on the Become a Vampire spell. I had to carefully monitor this one for obvious reasons, so I routinely had to eat Italian food, which sucked. I ordered Italian food and cheesy garlic bread. So we're gonna test and see if I'm deterred from eating this, which means the vampire spell has started to take effect. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, I'm just kidding. It's fine. Oh no, I'm gonna have to order more Italian food and more garlic cheesy bread. Dang it. But I was patient, and I never gave up no matter how much chicken Alfredo I had to eat. And finally, on one fateful day, it just hit me.
Hostile RTXD in your AO.
Hold on tight, little spider monkey.
That was
Anyway, guys,
excellent.
I hope you enjoyed this video.
Yo,
It's
peace
something
and
a
love.
little
That I
different.
did
don't
enjoy
really
that
know what I'm
video.
doing or where
I
I
already
am
gave you a
or
like.
what's
You got
going on
27,
or why my clothes are ripped or who
20K
destroyed all those
likes.
roads in New York. But I'm gonna call it
Chad,
there,
Chad
guys.
just
Thank you for subscribing,
murdering
and if you
everybody
are still
with her
here,
funny.
thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you clicking on my video out of all the videos that are on here, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.
Like that? Oh, I'm not gonna say it.
Hostile marksman got careless.
For the 18 to 29 demographic, 17% find this to be completely unacceptable. 17%, or no, 33% find it. Sorry. 33% find it completely unacceptable. And of course, the older you get, the more that's going to be, I mean, 70 plus people, especially once you get to Medicare for all, I don't really care about your opinion. You know what I mean? Like, this is not your battle. United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson on a Manhattan sidewalk, and he's been indicted by a grand jury in the case. And he stands accused of first-degree murder in furtherance of terrorism.
That's the second thing I've ever done in Call of Duty.
One count of which is charged as an act of terrorism and criminal possession of a weapon and other crimes. Alvin Bragg said, "We allege that Luigi Mangione carried out the brazen, targeted of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. This type of premeditated, targeted cannot and will not be tolerated, and my office has been working day in and day out to bring the defendant to justice. I want to extend my heartfelt prayers to Mr. Thompson's loved ones as they continue to grieve. This ongoing investigation is a
Fuck
product
his
of an
loved
incredible
ones.
partnership
Fuck
with all levels
him.
of the NYPD. And I want to thank Commissioner Tisch and the prosecutors and detectives who work collaboratively
Fucking
to apprehend
Commissioner
Mr.
Tisch.
Mangione. He is now charged in a New York State Supreme Court indictment with 3 counts of murder and faces a maximum penalty of life in prison without parole. Prosecutors are working to extradite Mangione from Pennsylvania, where he was arrested on an unrelated weapons charge. I guess technically it's not an unrelated weapons charge, but they want to extradite him to New York City to formally face charges in the 50-year-old health executive's death. The hearing on the matter is scheduled for Thursday. A spokesperson for Governor Kathy Hochul said that the governor plans to issue a warrant for extradition to New York as soon as the indictment against Mangione was handed up. His lawyers had said their client would not plead guilty to charges in both Pennsylvania and New York. Mangione faces life in prison without parole if convicted of the New York charges. 3 lawyers visited Mangione in prison on Friday, including a new attorney
Free
on the case,
Luigi,
Karen
you
Friedman
fucking
Agnifilo
bloodsuckers.
Filio. She's a longtime veteran of the Manhattan DA's office. She will be representing Mangione on charges that come from New York. A spokesperson for the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections on Friday told Newsweek that Mangione was being held in a small cell and not in solitary confinement. Mangione is not interacting with other inmates at this time and has taken every meal in his cell, she said. He's gotten mail, though. The spokesperson says Mangione received 33 emails and 6 pieces of mail as of Tuesday morning. She says he also received 153 deposit entries into his commissary account. According to Inmate Handbook, inmates may order commissary items like toilet articles and snacks on a weekly basis. Yeah. Someone in the chat said, premeditated is totally unacceptable unless it's a random woman getting by her ex-boyfriend or gang between 2 young kids in a red-lined urban area. No way to fix that stuff. Yeah, that stuff you got to live with. Okay, premeditated acts of school shootings. Also, we can't fix that. You just got to live with it. The level of attention that law enforcement agencies have given to the nation of Brian Thompson, United Healthcare CEO, is very interesting. Except it's not interesting at all and perfectly understandable if you recognize that law enforcement is not there to protect and serve you, but instead to protect and serve the interests of capital. That's it. CEOs are more important than the average person. And if you shoot a CEO in broad daylight for all of his contributions to the death and destruction of many families all across America, and then Americans start recognizing that is a serial killer that was taken out, then yeah, that's a really terrifying prospect for other CEOs, people in positions of power. All of our instruments of justice and all of our institutions like mainstream media and the like are tasked and designed with making sure that everybody understands that is completely unacceptable, okay? Do your normal friends understand what mainstream media is doing, or have they moved on already? I don't think they give a shit that much. They understand where the anger and resentment comes from towards Brian Thompson, and that's pretty much it. That's it. Meanwhile, a poll was conducted, and it found that 41% of adults under 30 consider the of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson acceptable. More than 40% in that demographic who consider it unacceptable. Anger over health insurance companies has been in the spotlight after Thompson's statement December 4th in New York City. Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old, was arrested last week in Pennsylvania and faces charges of Thompson's
Somewhat positive.
Survey came from Emerson College polling, found that 68% of all respondents found the actions of the person who Thompson to be unacceptable. But a startling 24% of those aged 18 to 29 find it somewhat acceptable, and 17% of that group found it completely acceptable. That is crazy, okay? Now, issue polling of this sort are, not always going to be, accurate, okay? But it's still insane that they were able to call up, investigate enough people within the age range of 18 to 29 that was like, yeah, I think that shit was awesome. That's crazy. Spencer Kimball, the executive director of Emerson College Polling, said 22% of Democrats said they found it acceptable compared to 16% of independents and 12% of Republicans. Said the overall findings underscore shifting societal attitudes among the youngest electorate and within party lines. I think part of this, as I've talked about, is how desensitized Americans, especially young Americans, are to violence. I will say that. But also, yeah, this is the Emerson College poll. For the 18 to 29 demographic, 17% find this to be completely unacceptable. 33% find it. Sorry. 33% find it completely unacceptable. And of course, the older you get, the more that's going to be, 70 plus people, especially once you get to Medicare for all, I don't really care about your opinion. You know what I mean? Like, this is not your battle. You lived in a dramatically different country your whole life. And also now you have Medicare for all. So it still ends up
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hey. Yeah. Yep. I got you.
Excellent.
I got a question for you right away with Black Ops here. On my daily challenges, I have to do something with the strategic combat specialty equipped, and I know that that's like I have to have it all green or whatever. So I got that set up.
Mm-hmm.
But then another one says I need the gunfighter wild card.
Yeah.
Is that like those are I can't do both at the same time, can I?
Wait.
Be doing both of these? Oh, wait a second.
Yes, you can.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah. Which
That's at the bottom.
Yeah, in
That's
the
at very
bottom. Yeah, under the there's the bottom
there it
right.
is, there
Yeah,
it
you
is.
can equip
Got it. All right, now I need to add fucking a ton of attachments onto this piece.
Oh, hey, take your time. Take your time. How you doing?
All right. How's it going? How was your day?
It was cool. Actually, they had some Mediterranean food at the department meeting, which was pretty nice. Had some falafel, delicious.
Oh,
it's from have you
nice.
ever seen that place down on Taylor? It's called I Dream of Falafel.
No.
No, it might be too. But it's meaning to check it out. It's good. It's real good. Pretty authentic.
Nice.
Authentic Mediterranean for sure.
Yeah, I like Mediterranean. Once in a while, we got a place. It's not close to us, but Pita Pita, and it's legit Mediterranean. It's kind of a takeout sort of place, mostly. I mean, you could eat there, but food is so good.
You ever had Sultan's? That's in the city. There's one
Sultan's?
by the
No.
Yeah, there's one by the Damon on North Avenue. Just a couple blocks from there. But best falafel in the city. I order from there once in a while. But I've been going there since 2004. For 20 years. I've been literally eating there for 20 years. Fucking love that place.
Wow.
And there's a new Mediterranean place in the food court at UIC called the Halal Hut. No, I'm sorry, the Halal Shack. And really tasty, real good. They have this thing like they have a non-burrito, which is like a burrito made with like a non bread, and they have they also have falafel, hummus and all that good stuff. But yeah, things are looking up. You got?
All right, I'm ready. I finally
ready
got
to
all
rock?
my attachments on there. Yep.
I've been going sniper for like the last couple days. It's been snipers. I'm loving it. I'm about to I'm working on the SVD, and I'm on level 20. Ordering this thing. Wait, how many sniper? Only 3, and I've already got 1 gold. I'm like, I don't know if it's me or if it's the snipers that are really good, but just like even though like there's some games I'm on the bottom and I feel like I'm having amazing games. I don't know how I end up on the bottom, but I have had some games where I'm like not at the bottom, and that's always.
No, they're definitely harder to get kills with. So when you get them, they feel so good.
Oh yeah. I just feel like I'm getting tons of multi kills, and I'm kind of like, how am I going negative when I get like 4, 5, 4, 3, 4 kills in a row, and then I die, and then I do it again. It's like, how am I going negative? I don't know. We're over. But I'm like, I got pretty much all these maps in my opinion for sniping, even this one.
Domination. Use of
Like
deadly
spawn
force
trapping with this is nuts.
Taking B. Bravo zone secure. We're winning. Keep it that way.
Our orders. Capture the objective. I've got this one.
Securing Alpha. They're taking C. Lost B. Zone Alpha captured.
Guess who's back, asshole?
That's awesome.
Taking C.
Back, asshole.
This game's so perfect. God bless Call of Duty.
We're losing Alpha.
Sounds like something Bruce Willis would have said in Die Hard.
Oh yeah.
Charlie secured.
One-liners are always appreciated in my opinion.
Okay.
There's a lot of belly layers down here. One over here.
Head for my waypoint. Never mind.
Oh my god.
Locked down.
Sniper threat defused.
Losing Bravo.
We are green on capture.
Losing B. We're losing Charlie.
Taking C. I'll see about that.
Watch out, grenade!
Losing Bravo.
No.
Rally's out.
Enemies destroyed your trophy system.
Losing B. Losing Bravo.
Oops.
Assaulting through. Enemy grenade.
Losing B. Taking Alpha. Bravo lost.
Ooh, I just sniped that dude coming right at you and
Hostile
behind
UAV
A.
established overhead.
Nice. Thank you.
No worries. My pleasure. I think they're still spawning over by A. It's gonna be tough to cap.
Secured.
Hostile
Enemy
incendiary.
RCXD detected.
Shit.
I'm going up.
Oof. They're
Securing
covering C.
zone A.
I'm gonna yeah, like pretty much like just sitting back in the corners. Sniper has been like the ultimate strat.
Ah.
Don't make me return fire.
Sniper is down.
Come on.
We lost B. Taking B. Driving RCXD. Locked down.
Enemy long rifle, heads down.
They're taking C.
Hostile spring mine.
Securing Alpha. Losing Bravo.
But yeah, it's the end of the year, almost the holidays,
Taking A.
finals. I think we're in intercession right
Enemy
now for sure.
UAV inbound.
So it's
Cool.
pretty
That was a
chill.
relief.
I was a little busy today because I was out yesterday for going to the vet.
Yeah.
And I had like tons of returns, and we also had that meeting. So I was a little busy, felt a little behind, but the rest of the week's gonna be crazy slow. I'll catch up like tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Do you guys still shut down, like whatever the OCLC lending when things get too crazy, or do you just
Things don't really get too
just
crazy.
get to it when you get to it?
I mean, it's usually, yeah. I mean, well, rapid never stops, so it just seems almost like
Right.
sometimes.
Yeah, it's
so,
kind of like that's the bulk of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it, and it doesn't stop. So it's kind of like, well, we're getting those. But I'm gonna turn it off.
Yeah, shit.
Probably
Come
tomorrow
on,
end of the
dude.
day.
Really?
Tomorrow's Wednesday, right?
Hostile UAV established
Because I don't
overhead.
think we're shipping shit after tomorrow. So I'll probably shut it off.
Yeah.
Just do some scans.
Securing
The
B.
guy from Systems has been coming in like a lot, like doing poking around with the scanner, and I don't know what the hell is going on, but I feel like he's been coming in every day for weeks, and I'm still using my iPhone.
Incoming flashbang.
Oh my god. Yeah, I forgot to ask you about that. It's still not figured out.
No,
Wow.
not yet. Just like
That's crazy.
like the iPhone app is like, it's not bad. It actually works out pretty well.
Taking
But it is better with the scanner. It's less psychedelic with the scanner. Mine with the straightener on the iPhone thing, sometimes it'll get pretty wavy, you know. But it works pretty well considering.
RCXD active. Controlling Bravo. Losing A.
Oh boy. RCXD stuck in the fucking tunnel.
Oh, trying to get that thing around is kind of a pain sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just had my arm blown off. Never seen that before.
Enemy RCXD detected. Securing B.
You are on the top, I'm on the bottom. Good go.
Sniper threat defused.
Good work though. I feel like I'm not having a terrible game, but for some reason I'm so.
Taking Bravo.
Enemy
Underway.
maneuvering.
Well, I think it's just the way of the sniper.
Yeah,
That's
the
all.
way of the sniper. It's the way we live. The life we've chose.
You feel good, but you're on the bottom at all times.
That's right. It's this price we pay to snipe. The price we pay for the ultimate glory.
Bravo locked.
Hostile marksman destroyed.
I don't know how I end up on the. I feel like I'm not doing bad. Like I feel like I get a lot of multi kills, which really like makes me wonder. It's like why am I negative in the bottom?
Stupid.
Watch out, grenade! Grenade out.
Controlling Bravo.
Flashbang! Target down.
Losing B.
I should.
Enemy sniper shooting.
Losing Bravo. RTXD active. We lost B.
Ah. Whoa.
Enemy RCXD detected.
Body drop.
Locked down.
Hostile Semtex.
They're tightening it up.
Oh yeah. Shit. I'm so on the bottom, but I'm still positive. Our team's just doing really well.
Taking C.
We're all really close. Except for, oh my god, you have 49 kills, bro. What gun are you using?
Submachine gun?
Which one?
I don't know. It's probably the first, because I haven't leveled anything up yet.
If you hit Y a couple times, it'll bring you up on the bottom right here.
Oh, that does what it'll do. Oh.
I'll see. Yeah, I will.
All units prepared.
Too late.
This one's on.
Run, cowards! Somos
Still
imparables!
at 52 kills. Get out of here. Look at this. Look at this.
There's Debbie.
Guess who's back, asshole?
Guess who's back, asshole? Thanks for that line. I love it.
Murder fest. What emote you got for us? Oh, B-boy, what up?
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's rare for a first game for me. I usually have a lot of rust to knock off. I think I'm starting to get into the groove of the game. It was kind of a rough beginning for me.
Hey, it's a rough beginning for everyone. You know what I mean? It's like trying to like, you know, getting good at Call of Duty like takes a little time, but once you get there, you're there, man. And I would say like you and I are probably like at the same level at this point.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I think you're better at sniping in games with bigger maps. I'm better at a smaller map, like just for myself. I don't know. You're probably just as good on a small map as I am.
I mean, whatever.
I find when I'm on big maps, I blow.
I mean,
especially if I'm using a sniper.
I've got good games. I got bad games. There's no real formula. I love SMGs mostly. I love running and gunning. I think I probably do put. I mean, now that X-Defiant is shitter, I'll be, you know, back full time in Call of Duty here. So I do put in a lot of time. But like you are a true godhead at this point, and it makes my heart sing. Remembering before you even played to now, it's like, hey, it's a beautiful thing. Here mine.
I have you to thank, Master.
Hey. Thank yourself. Thank yourself.
Team deathmatch.
The gun's name is a C9.
Oh, C9. Okay, yeah, sure. I think it's like the
first one.
I am having a pretty good run of getting first bloods. I get a lot of first bloods. It's kind of fun. Feels good. First murder.
Very nice. Kill. Oh.
these guys. I think the corridor is like where all the action is. Corridor and these roofs.
We're winning. Keep it down.
Incoming frag.
Shit. Oh god! Oh, that was sick. Get it from. Probably like no scope someone with a sniper.
Hostile Semtex. Using stick. Start incoming.
There we go.
Big Rock Daddy 8. Rock Daddy.
One behind Crimson.
Alright, here we go. Corridor news. That's where the party's at. That's where I'm going.
Corridor?
Yeah.
The party's always at on this map.
Yeah.
We're heading to the corridor.
She just had a line that I like too. She said after I iced this guy on the roof, she's like, "They're not getting up."
Hostile Semtex.
They're not getting up. Oh man, I like this character.
Move up. Enemy grenade.
Hostile RCXD in your AO.
Oh shit, guy coming up the stairs from behind. Shit.
What is going on here?
Yeah, in the corridor as usual.
Okay. Right.
Looks like they're trying to get both ends.
Oh, yeah, I see that. This guy's camping in there.
Trophy system only RCXD.
Oh my god, go up the stairs.
Thanks for the warning. Shit. Yeah, they're all headed towards the corridor again.
Enemy shot charge. Incoming Semtex.
Shit. I'm putting it here. I got a
Establishing trophy system.
trophy out on this end of the corridor. Oh shit. Attack. We got a missions box.
Shit, fucker.
Shit, come up the stairs. Where
Enemy
are they?
strike.
Oh, get murdered.
Hostile down.
Got two of them. They're on the roof over here. Forward.
Oh.
Santa Claus is on the back area behind the stairs.
Hostile marksman destroyed.
God, should have seen that. Look loose on the corridor. I'm behind him. Oh no!
Ooh.
Hit Mark with the sniper. Keep that.
Spotted enemy spring mine.
Oh, now I got my cat in my lap. The extra layer of challenge is here. And my other cats are eating again. God.
Oh, good. Yeah, I meant to ask you.
Yeah, good turnaround.
Got some appetite?
Got some appetite. I mean,
Good.
I'm like, I'm taking the meds that I've got. It's been pretty easy, so it's all is good. I mean, he's definitely not, you know, 100%. We definitely got. It's definitely this is all just band-aid shit. But at least he's like feeling pretty good.
Yeah, good.
As long as he's not throwing up everywhere. That was getting a little, get a little annoying to deal with. Yeah, puke everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, cats kind of just puke in general. But
I was gonna say.
This is you know.
Yeah.
The excessive type.
Extreme. I remember I was cat sitting for a friend when I was living in the city a long time ago for, I don't know, a few months. And the cat was doing super well. It was kind of old cat, but it would vomit a lot. And sometimes it'd wake up in the morning and walk out my door and step right into a cold vomit.
Yeah.
Not the way I like to wake up generally.
That was fun.
Like, oh my god. Yeah, he would be crying at my door, you know, for food, and then I'd get up, hardly even awake, and then splat. What a start to the day.
When it comes to that kind of stuff, I've got a relatively weak stomach. Like I'm like when I'm like cleaning up cat puke, I'm like gagging myself.
And then you'll have to clean up your puke on top of the cat puke.
But a sick cat will make you not mind it so much. My other cat, he's doing good. I feel like this cat will hopefully, I'm gonna knock on the wooden. Or actually, I got some real wood here. I think my cat might live forever. Mo, this other one, he's because he was born on the street. He was feral for a while. He's very muscular. He's a muscular cat, badass. I think he might live for another 30, 40, 50 years possibly. You got time for another?
Yeah, let's do one more, sure. I actually got all my challenges done.
Excellent. Ooh, I'm a fan of Derelict. I like Derelict. Payback's okay.
Right.
I like all the maps. Derelict, though, is, I think Derelict's like the very first map I've ever played, like, in the beta. Like, it was like the introduction to this game for me.
Oh, okay, this map, yeah. Well,
Pretty sure this is a beta map, and I'm almost positive this is the first one I played. Anyway, what do anything interesting today?
Today, what did I do? Interesting. I wouldn't. Or I put some. I've been meaning to do this for 3 years, so I guess this was a major accomplishment. But we have like a kind of a bar downstairs that was just like a big piece of furniture, essentially, that Rachel bought at some kind of I don't know,
Capture it.
sale or something. Anyway, there were some lights, some track lighting that I ran beneath it a long time ago. It looks kind of cool when you light it up. And the lights died many years ago, and I remember thinking when I was going to retire, I'm like, that'll be like for one of the first projects I'll get to. Well, guess what?
You finally got to it?
Didn't get to it until today.
I mean, whatever. That's cool. You got the time. Wait, you say track lighting now? What is that?
Like LED, like a strip of LED lights. Yeah, you can stick them on with adhesive. They do like a long strip.
Where was
tiny,
this? Where do you have this at?
Underneath the like you know, if you're like like the tabletop of the bar, you can run it right below the tabletop, the overhang, so it kind of highlights it from below, like beneath the bar, kind of, so it makes it kind of look like a. It's just you don't see the lights, but
you get the glow underneath the bar.
You get the glow.
Totally.
You get the glow underneath the bar. That's
cool. Yeah. Awesome. That's cool.
Taking the shot.
Got a collateral with my sniper. You kill 2 people with 1 bullet. Love it.
Watch out, grenade! Crack throw.
Yeah, holiday next week. I'm going in on Monday, but then and it's Christmas Eve, I think, on next Tuesday, right?
Good.
Actually, kind of snuck up on me.
Yeah. So what day do you have to work next week?
Monday. I just work Monday.
Just Monday?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. That'll be a nice short work week.
Yeah, definitely. And like the holiday itself snuck up on me, which is also really good feeling. Sorry. Behind you, on the other side of the train.
The lead is ours.
I ran out of ammo.
Puta madre, ceasefire!
Losing B.
Oh shit.
Isolating thermal.
Oh, what?
Get a UAV on grid.
UAV established overhead.
Losing Bravo.
UAV mission timeline 50% expended.
I don't know what the story is with Warzone. I don't know if they have like a big map. I haven't heard of one.
Losing B.
I think that they only have like a small resurgence map. I think. I haven't looked at it all. But as soon as I know
I
they
forgot
have
all about Warzone.
Securing Alpha.
I mean, at this point, I think battle royales are falling off. So I'm really mad at X Defiant because, like, I think this space is going to start popping off, and they were in a really good position to like take a piece of the market. They just like just a dog shit company. There's a YouTuber I watch called Young Yang. Covers just industry stuff going on, video game news, whatnot. And he was kind of making an analysis of the of this year, and there's like basically like 4 giant AAA games that just flopped, and X Defiant was one of them. And it's just like a harbinger of doom, or at least some kind of like a crash out in the video game industry, which we really haven't seen since like 1984, 1983, and the post ET and Atari video game crash happened.
If Trump institutes tariffs, that won't be the only thing that's crashing.
Dude, yeah, we're in trouble.
Crash. Groceries are gonna be like, it's gonna be like $10 for eggs. So I'm kind of, you know, in a way, it's kind of a relief that these is gonna, you know, you just blame Trump from now on. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, you guys wanted it. This is what you get.
I mean, Trump's like a wild card sometimes. You know what I mean? I mean, I mean, on some issues, he's a piece of the word salad. There's a new episode today of Internet Today, and they talk about this press conference that Trump gave, and they brought up the word salad that we're going to be experiencing again for the next 4 years, in which I don't know if I can take it. Like it was so hard to go through last time. And I'm like just imagining, dude. I just remember the anxiety I would feel of like getting like news reports or like on my phone, like Trump did this insane thing, and I'd be like, oh my god, we're fucked. I just don't know if I can take it again for another 4 years, man.
Right.
And I have no one to talk about it. At least last time, like you and I, like we could talk about it. But now I'm gonna have to keep my mouth shut for the next 4 years. Stewing in it all day long. Seeing if there's anyone I could possibly like sneak a conversation in about it with. I very low expectations.
Yeah, I don't think I can hang on to his nonsense words. I'm just gonna have to like read the recap summary kind of thing. I can't be watching him speak his bullshit. It's gonna make me insane.
I wish I could say the same.
Do that rodeo again.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna pay attention. I'm gonna keep close, but it's probably gonna drive me to the depths of alcoholism.
Yeah, he's been great for keeping people in the alcohol and substance.
And that's the only ones pulling through for us. The Democratic Party and the Liberals have completely abandoned us, and are like just capitulating. Like Time Magazine, all this shit. Like they're just like, this is the new reality. You better make nice. And it's kind of like there's gonna be parts of the population that are going to die, and you're all like, oh, well, what are you gonna do? We just gotta deal with it. It's like, nah, man. It's like, whatever. Same shit happened in Nazi Germany, man. Liberals fucking bent over for Hitler too. But well, I mean, I hate this whole wait and see because like it might already be too late, and like we don't have time to wait and see. Like we just need to start bashing fascists. But there's no left in the United States. There's only the boogeyman left that the Republicans have created, which consists of the Democratic Party, which is not a left-wing party, which I think at this point we all know is like centrist at best and willing to adopt right-wing positions to try to like, in a futile attempt to support right-wing who want nothing to do with any Democrat, no matter what they say, no matter what they do.
The CIA against a handful of goddamn criminals, and this is the best.
They failed us.
Like and Bernie is letting us down too. There's really no. It sucks. I mean,
well, if enough people get fucked over by Trump's administration and they get pissed off enough, then things will change eventually. That's one hope.
I mean, if democracy sticks around, but like he's gonna do all he can in the next immediately. He's going. He can't leave office. Like legally, he can't leave office. Because he'll go to jail, or at least in his mind. And like pretty much a bunch of people in his administration are in the same situation. So it's like this. I mean, democracy's gone. The Democrats aren't going to do a goddamn thing about protecting democracy. They're just going to be like, I mean, they let the parliamentarians stop them from passing just general legislation, and they like just shrug their shoulders. Like, oops, parliamentarian. It's like, who the fuck's the parliamentarian? Fire their ass. That's what the Republicans would have did. Fire their ass. Put someone in who's gonna fucking play ball. What the fuck? It's just the Democrats want to fail. They don't want to get anything done. They're a status quo party, and the last election they didn't even pretend to like pander to progressives. They were just basically like, hey, progressives, here's a middle finger. It's like, we're going to help small businesses and families, but just like working people, young people, progressive people, you can all fuck yourselves, and you better vote for me, or Trump's going to win. It's kind of like, well, it's not a good enough reason to vote for you. Sorry.
Yeah, as evidenced by the voter turnout.
Yeah, some people have principles. I'm sorry. I mean,
they major fucked.
Yeah, the Democrats. I mean, if the Democrats want us to vote for them, maybe they should try doing some shit we want them to do, instead of like constantly moving towards trying to pander to Republicans who will never vote for them ever, and in any universe, in any dimension. It's like, what are you doing? Stop it.
Yeah. I saw some article some lady wrote, I forgot where it was. It was I think it was in the paper, or I don't even know, but she was like, after Harris lost, she's like, Democrats, you have to learn your lesson. We all have to move towards the center. And I'm like, you are so fucking wrong.
That's what we did during the election.
Yeah. It's like you said, like there aren't these Republicans that we're gonna like. There's like 2 or 3 in the whole country. Oh, we're gonna woo them over to our side. No, you're not.
I mean, they could have been a shoo-in. Women, if they would have like, I mean, the Palestine Israel issue was a big one. That's what caused like the turnout in Michigan to be shit, because like the largest concentration of Arabs in the United States are in Michigan. And the Democrats are just basically like, we don't care that all these Arab people are dying. We fully support and will fully fund Israel's actions. And they're just kind of like, well, I can't vote for you.
Yeah, morally, right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And they
stayed home. Yep.
And they didn't even I mean, they pushed Tim Walz, who everyone loved, like to the back. Didn't really like give him the spotlight he needed, and just went full centrist. And I'm sorry, but the Cheney thing, like touting in the endorsement from both Dick and Lynn Cheney, to me was like made me like not want to vote. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, fuck you. I don't like these people. These people are pieces of shit. It's like, why are you like proud that they're endorsing you? It's just like, it's like, why do we want the neocons? We don't want, it makes no sense. And like Trump's entire base hates these people. If you think Republicans are going to come vote for you because of this, everyone hates Dick Cheney. Everyone, Republican and Democrats, we all hate him. It's like, what are you thinking? I'm sorry, we can have this discussion for 1 trillion years. This pisses me off.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh well. Well, what are you gonna do? So, are you? What are you?
Hold tight. Hold tight.
Hold tight. All right.
Because it's gonna be quite a ride.
It's gonna. Oh, dude, I don't even. It's like this is. I'm just glad the time seems to be going extremely slow, and we're tiptoeing towards the end. But once the shit goes, you should watch a new episode of Internet Today. And
yeah, I think I am tonight.
You get a little taste of a little reminder.
No.
Little reminder of the Trump speech that we're gonna have to hear constantly.
Oh Lord.
Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, you were talking about Time Magazine. I made a little meme the other day and stuck it on BlueSky. I took Time Man of the Year and I used an AI Satan and stuck them on there.
Wait, you're making AI generated stuff?
Well, I did a hybrid thing. I found a template for Time Magazine where you can like put your own picture on it, I guess, because it was just like a blank frame. And I screenshotted that, and then I used one of the AI generator things to just show me a Satan. You know, give me a new Satan.
That's right.
The one they gave me looks fucking pretty cool, and I stuck it on the frame.
I'm looking at it now. Oh, there it is. I see it. Oh, look at this muscles. It's a hot Satan. Okay, I just gave it a like there.
It's ripped.
Person of the year, Satan.
Thanks.
I'm repost it. There you go. Look at that. The algorithm loves that shit.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought someone must have done this, and then I looked around. I didn't see anyone else who done it. Someone probably did, but I'm like, no, Satan. It's basically who's Time Man of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
We're celebrating Satan. Good job, Time Magazine. Good job.
That's just Time Magazine. Like, please don't murder us.
Yeah, right.
Just don't shut us down and throw all of us in prison, which is exactly what he wants to do. Dude, ABC gave him $15 million.
I know.
Because of something George Stephanopoulos said. Dude, fuck off. Fuck the fuck off. Such dog shit. This is not a good precedent to set. And like these fucking liberals should fight.
To his library.
They should fight this asshole. Like with everything they got. But they're not going to. They're just gonna like show their belly and we're all gonna die. Thank you, fascists. Thank you, liberals.
I mean, did they really think that they were going to lose to the extent of $15 million? Like, couldn't they have fought it in court, and wouldn't that have been enough? Or
they
do you think that
they should have 1,000%.
They would have lost.
Because you know what this means? It means you can't say anything about Trump in the media, or he's going to sue your ass. It's like they should have fought it to the fucking bloody end.
I mean, it was like hair splitting about like what Stephanopoulos called him a rapist, I think, and
he's convicted of it.
He's convicted of sexual assault, which is different in New York than rape or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I didn't even quite understand exactly what the contention was between the word usage, but it was something involved with that. So whatever, he finger banged her, didn't actually rape her, so it's different, and so therefore ABC News gets to be sued.
That's 1,000% dog shit, because that is rape. That's sexual assault and that's rape. If you like do something like that.
I think they're looking at what they consider in New York. I think where it happened, I think is where the hair splitting is. But I don't know.
Let's hair split about sexual assault. These fucking monsters.
Yeah, right. So donation to they said like that donation that they made to the presidential library will probably end up being like a whole wing about how ABC News, sucks.
Yeah, it's fake.
It's like good job.
Yeah, all
good job. Yeah,
fake.
here's the hall of ABC fake news. That's what you just paid for, you morons.
I mean, we're gonna see pretty quickly whether or not like this glazing of Trump by the liberal media is gonna work, because like Trump loves flattery, loves it.
He does.
It might be effective. It might work on him. If ABC's like, and if Time Magazine's like Man of the Year, he'll be like, Time Magazine, great magazine, maybe Time Man of the Year.
It's true, because look at all the people that Ted Cruz, Rubio, everybody, basically everyone, including J.D. Vance, and they all called him Hitler and worse, and now when they get down on their knee, he loves it. So That's power. That's mob boss power.
For sure.
Oh, you hate me? Oh, you hate me. But now you love me? Oh.
I mean, I think the things I'm most worried about, because like he still has a bunch of psychopaths coming into his administration, people like Stephen Miller. You know, I bet you even Steve Bannon probably gets a position back in, psychotically enough. But these people are like real extremists, and I'm particularly worried about like the LGBT community, especially trans people in particular. Like their rights are going to be like annihilated, and like people are gonna be like forced into like the closet, basically. It's gonna be like the 1950s. It's insane. It's insane. It's like such a huge rollback in human progress in general. It's just sad and scary shit.
Yeah.
And like it's gonna take years to rebuild, decades possibly. Like bring back.
Yeah. My sister-in-law, so it's Rachel's brother's wife. She has, I think it's a stepbrother who's gay, and he is looking at moving. I forgot where, New Zealand or some other place with his boyfriend. To get the hell out of here. I don't blame him.
Sucks ass, man. I mean, a lot of people should.
That'd be terrifying.
If people don't know, they should know. But the very first books that the Nazis burned were studies on transgenderism.
Oh.
Those were the first books they fucking burned. So, where history is repeating itself.
Man. That's fucked up.
Super fucked up. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna just drink and play Call of Duty, and if I see a Nazi in person, I'm going to hit them with anything I can find.
There you go.
That's pretty much my game plan, and go to work.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
All right. Sounds like a plan. All right, man. I'm gonna go.
Excellent. Hey, good games.
We'll
good
talk
games.
to you tomorrow.
Please do. Please do. Hit me up.
Games.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Catch you later.
Hey.
Up fucking you over, but just or not Medicare for all. Sorry, you have Medicare in general. I think if you want the societal attitude to reflect this, you're gonna have to give these guys what these guys have, which is, an opportunity to be able to dream of a better tomorrow, a notion that they can retire at a reasonable age. Healthcare. Unc, your age bracket seems to be not the best. You missed Weekend Update. Yeah, I didn't watch the SNL this week, but I think they made one joke. And they said he was a hypocrite for going to McDonald's and Starbucks. It's UHC's fault that I lost my good med back in March and haven't been the same since. I can barely walk most days compared to no problems before then. There will be more Louise because everyone has a reason. Yeah, like 100%. There are far too many people who've been fucked over by healthcare unnecessarily. So much so that you literally have people who are, coming from wealthier backgrounds that are also engaging in this act of violence. I don't think that the solution to it is just like attacking random healthcare CEOs. You know what I mean? I don't think that is going to solve this issue. But if no one actually is tasked with solving this problem, this systemic problem, then yeah, there's going to be more. And it seems like the powers that control our lives, all these institutions, are predisposed with not trying to tackle the systemic harms, but instead engaging in new methods of apprehension for those who speak out of turn, Because it's far too difficult to solve the healthcare crisis in this country. It's much easier to keep pressuring people. It's much easier to just say, it's much easier to make an example of some Barbaras and Debras, prosecute people for being upset at their health care. That's it. Let's remember that one of the most popular American TV shows is about a high school biology teacher who gets cancer and starts making meth to pay his medical bills. Yeah. It's a very, like, Breaking Bad doesn't exist in other countries. You understand? There is no underlying premise like that. There's no UK Breaking Bad. He was a chemistry teacher, not a biology teacher. You're right. Sorry. I read that in the chat. They said it wrong. It's fine. You were on Philly D today?
Bastards, welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show. You daily.
Oh, I didn't even cover the Assad thing.
Reaction. But then, unfortunately, we need to talk about how a teen shooter killed 2 people at the pre-K through 12 Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin yesterday. With reports initially claiming that at around 11 a.m., a second grader at Abundant Life called 911 to report a shooting, with officers then dispatched. The police clarifying today that that wasn't entirely correct. It was actually a second grade teacher. But anyway, within minutes, the first officers rolled up, and by 11:05, they reported that the shooter was down and a gun had been recovered. Within then later reported that the evidence suggests that the shooter took their own life. Then by 11:30, you had officers and bomb-sniffing dogs clearing the building, and the injured had been taken off to the hospital, which on that note, 6 were injured, 2 of which were students that, as of this morning, are in critical condition. And outside of the shooter, 2 people have died, with one being a teacher and the other a student. And all of this is we still do not know the identities of the victims while the police inform their families. But with that said, we've slowly been getting a clearer picture of what happened thanks to updates from the local police chief, Sean Barnes. Right, yesterday, we learned that the shooter was a 15-year-old girl and a student at Abundant Life, and that the shooting was confined to a study hall with a mix of students from different grades. Also, reportedly, the gun used was a 9mm handgun, and the ATF is currently trying to figure out exactly where it came from. And this is the Madison police are investigating the shooter's parents, who are reportedly cooperating with the police, specifically.
Alrighty, well, hello sinners, and welcome back to day 4 of the 12 days of Sinmas.
Hello, my strange little onions. You ask, so I'm delivering another installment of creepy conservative men who come into my DMs because they think I'm a woman. This one starts how they all start, once upon a DM notification. I haven't told this story before because people have told me it doesn't make me look very good, but I think it makes men look worse, so we're telling it. Trigger warning for body shaming, although aren't these videos just a giant trigger warning at this point? You're cute, but you'd be gorgeous if you lost 30 pounds, he said. Sir, if I lost 30 pounds, I'd be hospitalized, I said. No, you're just telling yourself that so you don't have to put in the work to make yourself look good, he said. Surely a man who goes around critiquing other people's physical appearance must be a 6'7" bodybuilding Adonis, so I went to go look at his page. You'll never guess what I found. He was a short, morbidly obese gentleman. Sir, did your messaging me that add any benefit to our society? I asked. Yeah, it did. Excuse me for not wanting women to look like cows, he said. That made me angry, and when I get angry, I choose evil and mean. I believe one's beauty comes from within and is not dictated by the outward appearance. But if you are going to criticize somebody for not conforming to your idea of beauty, I think it's only fair that I be allowed to criticize you for not conforming to the beauty standard that society has dictated. You are a 6-year-old, super morbidly obese man who is hitting on women in their 20s by insulting them, hoping to diminish their self-esteem enough that you can prey upon them and hopefully have a chance. I said. I am not super morbidly obese. I'm husky, bitch, he said. No, you're not husky. You're super morbidly obese, and I'm not using that as an insult, just an accurate descriptor, I said. You think you're better than me? He asked. Only because I'm smarter and nicer than you and I treat people with respect. It has nothing to do with the fact that I'm thinner than you, I said. Keep telling yourself that, babe. I'm just trying to save you from a life of wobbling when you walk. So you think it's perfectly acceptable for a man to go around looking like Jabba the Hutt, but a woman should look like Karen Carpenter in her coffin. At another point in my life, your comments might have ruined my self-esteem and caused me to go into a downward spiral of bulimia and anorexia. Your words are dangerous and could have deadly consequences, all because you don't think you could win a woman with your personality, which, guess what? You can't. I said. That's when he sent me a photo of his ding-a-ling. Forever. That's when I blocked him, because I definitely didn't screenshot the entire conversation, including the nude, and send it to his mother, because that would be revenge porn and illegal. I would never do anything illegal. Have a hug, a cookie, and a juice box. I love you. Mwah.
Enemy RTXD check.
Alrighty, well, hello sinners, and welcome back to day 4 of the 12 days of Sinmas. You know, I'm starting to think it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Ooh, sorry. Yeah, you. So for the 4th day of Sinmas, I'll be handing out some coal, but not to you. You're all on my nice list. Today, we'll be reading some holiday-themed r/am I the asshole stories. Normally, I would save this for the end of Sinmas, but I want to keep you on your toes because I'm so crazy. You can't take me anywhere. Oh, no. It seems like any sort of interpersonal drama ramps up this time of year, as we'll see in a sec. But it makes sense because emotions run high throughout the holiday season, and that tends out to bring the best and worst in people. How this will work is that at the end of each story, we'll give each person 1 to 5 pieces of coal. If the person gets 1 piece of coal, that'll mean they suck, but they're redeemable. But if the person gets 5 pieces of coal, they're going straight on the naughty list. 9 out of 10 Santas hate this person. But if someone's not at fault, they'll get 0 pieces of coal. You get it. I trust you. You know, we've been around the block, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, not like that. Okay, let's just jump into it. I don't know. Am I the asshole for being hurt that my mother-in-law wanted to exclude my daughter from Thanksgiving and Christmas to protect my sister-in-law? Oh boy, you know if a mother-in-law is involved, that is definitely going to be good. And by good, I mean bad. By the way, if you are triggered by discussions of miscarriage and fertility problems, please skip to the next video. I'll put the timestamp right here. So OP is a 31-year-old woman married to Tyler, who's a 32-year-old man. And I gave birth to our first child, a baby girl, almost 3 months ago. I love Tyler very much, and I always felt grateful that I married into the family I did. I grew up with a single mom, and it was always just the 2 of us. I love my mother dearly, but I always wished I had a larger family unit with siblings when I was little. My mom passed away from ovarian cancer about 2 years ago, and so now I truly don't have family apart from my in-laws. Side note to OP, I am very sorry for your loss. That is awful. By contrast, my husband's parents are happily married, and he's one of 4 children. Everyone has always been kind and welcoming to me, and I always have a blast at their holidays and family reunions. The only exception is Tyler's twin sister, Ashley. Dun dun dun! Since I met her, Ashley has been cool and standoffish towards me. Not the good kind of thing, is what I'm getting at. Not like cool, like cool. You know, especially compared to her friendly younger brothers and parents. She's never been outright mean to me, but she's also never made much of an effort to ask me questions or get to know me. I know she also has some resentment towards Tyler, and sometimes comments on the fact that he's the favorite and that everything comes easy to him. Some of her comments irk me since I know how hard Tyler has worked for his success, and also see that he has struggles he doesn't share with the family since he doesn't like to burden others. At first, Tyler sounds like the golden child of the family, but it's giving people please her. I've never said anything about the comments since Tyler accepts us the way she is and doesn't get too bothered by her. Even though Ashley and I are far from best friends, I've been sad to learn that she's had a hard time getting pregnant. She and her husband have been trying for around 2 years now, and she recently had a miscarriage. I've tried to be mindful of what she's going through and intentionally avoided talking about my pregnancy and now baby around her. I even declined my mother-in-law's offer to throw me a baby shower, since I thought it would be difficult for Ashley with everything going on. Interesting. I mean, OP sounds very thoughtful and mindful of her sister-in-law's feelings, even though they have an icy relationship. Maybe I'm speaking too soon, but I like OP so far. With that being said, the entire family has been incredibly excited about my daughter. My husband is the first of his siblings to have a child, and so it's an exciting time in transition for the family. Yesterday, my mother-in-law and father-in-law came to our house for dinner. My mother-in-law said she had something difficult to speak with us about and started talking about what a hard few years it's been for Ashley. My mother-in-law said Ashley is excited for us, but it's painful to see me with an infant when she's wanted to be a mother for so long. She said Ashley is dreading the holidays because she's worried everyone will be focusing on and fussing over the new baby. My mother-in-law said that she was looking forward to spending the holidays with us, especially since it's our daughter's first Thanksgiving and Christmas, but she's trying to think of her daughter's feelings as well. My mother-in-law basically asked if we could either sit out on the family Thanksgiving and Christmas this year or hire a sitter to watch our daughter so all the focus won't be on her. Yeah, hiring a sitter for a 3-month-old baby, that sounds like a good idea. My mother-in-law even floated the idea of me staying home with the baby and my husband stopping by quickly to say hello. You're out of your f***ing mind, lady. My husband was livid. He said that Ashley should be the one to stay home if she can't manage her emotions, and my mother-in-law said that Ashley is going through a lot and needs her family right now. My husband said he's not celebrating the holidays with the family unless the baby and I are both included. I started crying, which surprised everyone since I rarely show emotion. I said that I feel terrible for Ashley, but I'm incredibly sad and disappointed that my daughter is being excluded. I explained that I don't have family now that my mother is gone, and so I really want my child to have a strong bond with her grandparents, uncles, and aunt. My mother-in-law said there will be opportunities in the future for her to bond with the family. I said, I don't think I'll feel welcomed in the future now that I know they're so willing to exclude both myself and my daughter. I said it's sad that we're clearly not viewed as an important part of the family since my mother-in-law was so quick to suggest we both stay home. I said I understand that Ashley is her daughter, and so her loyalty will always be to her first, but also I'm very hurt by the request. My mother-in-law started to backtrack and said that she loves me and her granddaughter very much, and that this clearly wasn't the right way to handle the situation. She said she was trying to do the right thing, but she didn't spend enough time thinking everything through. My husband was still fuming and asked his parents to leave even though his mom was crying and begging to work things out. I've gotten several calls from my mother-in-law today. I know I should give her a call and hear what she has to say, but I'm still so hurt. My husband is also upset and doesn't want to participate in the holidays this year. Maybe I'm being selfish under the circumstances, but I can't believe how easily they could exclude my baby. Am I the asshole? I need to take a long sip before I unpack this. Jesus Louises. So this kind of issue is way outside my knowledge of expertise, considering that I'm an unmarried, childless woman, but I'll do my best to give my perspective. I want to start off by acknowledging Ashley's pain because while I've never struggled with fertility issues, I mean, I've never tried to have a kid, but like, as far as I know, I don't have fertility issues. With that being said, I understand that fertility issues are hard. It's very hard on the couple, it's very hard on the expecting mother, and I can't imagine how painful miscarrying your child must feel. And I'm very sorry that Ashley and her husband have to experience that. And I understand why Ashley wouldn't want to be around children around the holidays because it might bring up feelings of resentment and envy, sadness, grief. Because it's like, I'm sure she wishes that was her kid celebrating the holidays with them. Like, Ashley wants to have that experience as a mother on Christmas. You know, buying her baby gifts, taking them to see Santa, baking cookies, all of that. And I 100% acknowledge Ashley's pain. And I know grief makes you do strange things. It makes you act out of character. But I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, Ashley. And I do say this with love, by the way. Your triggers are not other people's responsibilities. Like, it was already enough that OP declined a baby shower because of your feelings, but this is way too far. On the other side, you could argue that, oh, the baby's so young, they won't even remember not being there for their first Christmas. But it's like, first of all, the mother and father will remember not being able to celebrate with the family and their baby. And number two, how long is this child supposed to be in exile? Like, is there a certain age that they'll have to reach in order to be welcomed at these family events where Ashley won't get triggered? Will it be until Ashley finally does have a child? Like, when does this end, hypothetically? And also, to me, personally, based on what I've read now, OP could have also been a massive bitch to Ashley, and maybe that's why Ashley's so cold to her, but I'm only going based off of what is presented here. And it seems like OP has tried to form a relationship with Ashley, so based on that knowledge, it seems to me in a way that Ashley is weaponizing her grief as a way to get back at OP for whatever is going on between the two of them. She's projecting her feelings onto OP and Tyler because she and OP don't have the best relationship. And instead of channeling those feelings and speaking to her husband about it or going to see a grief counselor, she is taking it out on OP because she doesn't like her. And in turn, that's ruining her relationship with her twin brother. Even though it sounds like there was already some tension there, this certainly doesn't help. Now, we haven't even gotten into the mother-in-law yet. And like, I get it, I agree with OP, like, mother-in-law's loyalty is gonna be with Ashley first, with all of her kids first. But she's got to recognize how ridiculous this is. She's sacrificing a chance to bond with her granddaughter or her grandkid. I don't know what gender the baby is, but the grandbaby, we'll say that. And I don't think the mother-in-law is coming from a bad place. I think she's simply thinking of Ashley and her feelings, but she's not considering OP and Tyler's feelings. Like, I agree with OP. The mother-in-law is going about this the wrong way. But I don't think it's malicious. I don't think it's out of hatred for OP. Like, it's the mother-in-law's way of trying to keep the peace because I'm sure she wants Ashley there. But, like, you know, you can't punish this baby simply for being born. And you can't punish OP for Ashley's infertility issues. Those are two separate things. I do want to address Tyler for a second. Typically, you would see the guy siding with his mother-in-law in these kind of situations. Not even fully side, but like come to her defense. But I respect Tyler for standing up to her and for standing by OP and their baby's side. Like, okay. Respect. It seems like based on what we've read that Tyler has really good boundaries with his parents. That he also seems fed up with Ashley. Long story short, I don't think OP is the asshole. So obviously OP and Tyler do not get any coal. I do not think they're at fault in this situation. In fact, I think they're handling it as best as possible. I would feel bad giving Ashley 5 pieces of coal just because she is grieving the loss of her child. She's going through it right now. She's not in the right headspace. But she's also been kind of mean to OP even before all this, which is why I think I'm going to give her 4 pieces of coal. And we didn't really hear much from Ashley's husband in all of this. Like, I don't know if he's just like standing on the sidelines. He's letting his wife duke it out with all of them. But I'm going to give him 3 pieces just for fun. The mother-in-law, I'm going to give 4 pieces of coal to her as well. Like I said, I don't think she's coming from a malicious place. I sincerely do think she's trying to consider her daughter's feelings, but she definitely isn't going about it the right way. Now, I'm gonna give the father-in-law 3 pieces of coal. Now, we didn't hear much from him in the story. I'm sure more went on behind the scenes, and OP, didn't include every single detail. But just like Ashley's husband, he didn't come out and stand up for Tyler and OP and his grandbaby, so that's why I'm giving him 3 coals instead of 4. Like his wife, I think we can agree the ultimate asshole in this situation is the baby. Like, you're how old? Stand up for yourself. At 3 months old, I was strapping my boots up and going to work. All right? This is pathetic. You are a pathetic little child. You are a pathetic, helpless little being. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below. Do you want to help that special someone in your life look and feel their best this Sinmas season? Well, I have the perfect solution for you. Manscaped, who are kindly sponsoring today's video. Manscaped is a grooming company focused on the health and hygiene of men, though anyone of any gender can use their products. And for the holiday season, Manscaped is offering the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, which is their all-in-one grooming kit. The Performance Package includes Manscaped's best-selling Lawnmower 5.0 groin and body hair trimmer. It's sleek, waterproof, and comes with 2 interchangeable blades so you can trim or shave your body hair to your liking every time. And with the Ball Aftershave Lotion and Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant, you'll be ready to slay all day. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra also features the Weed Whacker 2.0 for all those pesky ear and nose hairs. And the best part? Each kit comes with 2 holiday bonuses. Manscaped's Boxers 2.0 in the color Midnight Bravo and the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag. If you need an awesome present for the holiday season or you just want to treat yourself, you can get 20% off your order plus free shipping with the code FORCINO at manscaped.com. That's code FORCINO at checkout for 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com. Stay on top of your grooming game and be ready for anything the season throws your way. So thank you to Manscaped for helping me and my sinners feel fresh and confident this Sinmas season. Now, let's get back to your scheduled programming. Am I the asshole for giving my mother-in-law a fake copy of my house key and quote-unquote exposing her on Christmas dinner? Oh my god, not the mother-in-law again. What is it with you mother-in-laws misbehaving around the holidays? Not all mothers-in-law. I've heard great stories about mothers-in-law. I want to preface this by saying that I, F34, married my husband, M37, a year ago. Ew, gross. Like, I'm fine with men and women dating, but just like, keep that out of my face. I don't want to see it. His mom is Snoopy and annoying AF. His mom is Snoopy? Like the dog? All right, I'll stop. Let's actually get into this. She can't help it. That is just how she is, as my dear in-laws say. My husband and I purchased a new house recently. My mother-in-law kept pushing to get an emergency key. She promised that she'd only use it in an emergency, but given the fact that she had an emergency key to our old apartment and walked in on us being intimate twice, But my husband didn't think it was a big deal. I just couldn't trust her, so I just sent her a fake key after she kept pushing, and she had a smug look on her face after I hand delivered it to her. I'm sorry, but your mother walking in on you having sex not once but twice is kind of a big deal. I think it would be a big deal in most cases, no matter who it was. Days go by, and at Christmas dinner, mother-in-law angrily called me out on the fact that I gave her a fake copy of the house key. She shamed me for doing this in front of everyone, but in my defense, I asked her how she found out, and she said days ago when she came over at 4 while my husband and I were out. I reminded her, didn't you promise you wouldn't use it unless there's an emergency? So you tried to get in when there was no emergency and you broke the promise you made to us. She looked red in the face, and the other family started staring, and some even laughed at her for the face she made. She suddenly got up from her seat and rushed into the kitchen, where she had a huge meltdown so loud the next door neighbors must have heard. Literally, I've never heard a 60-plus-year-old woman throw a tantrum like that. That's so funny. Not the tantrum. Needless to say, dinner went awkward, and my husband and his sister were giving me looks. My husband went off on me in the car and said I lied and manipulated and humiliated and exposed his mom, and said he wouldn't have let me get away with it had he known. I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids. We had an argument, and he's demanding I apologize to his mom for my childish behavior and for ruining Christmas dinner for the whole family. Am I the asshole? See, kids, don't be like this husband. Be like Tyler from the last story. Stand up for your partner. That's funny as because, like, technically OP gave the mother-in-law a house key. She didn't say for which house. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. Now I'm talking to the husband. Dude, put your fucking foot down. All right, this is weird. You're saying your mother walked in on you having sex with your girl not once but twice? Have you no shame? Maybe this was a little immature on OP's part, but, like, was she wrong? I don't think she was. Maybe the mother-in-law needs to learn not to enter spaces where she's not welcome. Don't walk in unannounced. 60+ years old, and we're just learning that. Something else I want to note, the meltdown at the end of the story, again, funny as I think there was 2 reasons why the mother-in-law had a meltdown. Number 1, she was mad that she wasn't able to enter their house. And 2, I think she was even more pissed that she was being called out in front of other family. Like, maybe this behavior is something she's gotten away with for years and years and years without the family knowing, or maybe not knowing the extent of her behavior. But now that she's being publicly called out on it, she threw a tantrum. I think it was the laughing that did it, because no one likes to feel embarrassed. And that is pretty embarrassing, but that is all the mother-in-law's fault. You made your bed, now lie in it. All right, so there's been an edit to this. So this went off unexpectedly, and I thought I'd show my husband some pretty helpful comments I found here minutes ago, but he got mad at me when he saw it and said I was nuts to talk about his family online. He demanded my phone so he could delete it, but I refused, and I went upstairs and into the bedroom. I've never seen him so agitated, and I didn't think he'd react like that, honestly. But thank you guys for your support. It really means so much. I'll update if I can. Thanks again. This is giving Matt and Kelly from I Love a Mama's Boy. Matt, I fear I'm looking into your future, but I think now is the perfect time to hand out some coal. We're gonna start with the husband. Initially, I was only gonna give him like 3.5 pieces of coal, just because I could sympathize with the fact that this is what he grew up with and he doesn't know any better. And I guess that he's used to having his mother push his boundaries, and he doesn't have the equipment, the capability to stand up for himself. But then I thought, this is a grown-ass man, and he is letting his mother talk to his wife this way. And the fact that he wanted to take OP's phone and also started yelling at her, I would give him like 4.5 pieces of coal out of 5. I don't know if I want to give someone 5 out of 5 pieces yet. I feel like that's saved for extreme cases. Maybe this is an extreme case and I'm just off the mark. But Mr. OP's husband, do better. Do a lot better. Now, OP, I do not think she's an asshole. She is an icon. She is a legend. Maybe I would give her half a piece of coal because that was kind of petty, but was she wrong? Like, I don't know. She's kind of incredible for that. Now, Miss Mother-in-law, I'm going to give you 4.5 pieces of coal. Don't know if it's worth 5 whole pieces of coal, but just like with your son, you're You're getting up there. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Can't wait to see you guys on the next season of I Love a Mama's Boy. Now I lied, all right? I am the asshole in this video because not all of these stories are from r/am I the asshole. This next one is from r/true off my chest. I don't remember if I've ever covered this subreddit on my channel. Basically, people post their unfiltered thoughts. They're not looking for advice. They're not looking to see who's the asshole in this situation. It's a place to vent. And the title of this one is Cousin's Gift Ruined Christmas and Possibly My Relationship. What is this gift? I'm intrigued. I come from a big family. Our holidays involve extended family like second cousins, etc. My fiance and I are in our mid-20s, and there are a lot of cousins in their 20s and 30s. Last night, we had our big Christmas party. It was fun to see everyone until it was time to exchange presents. My cousin Anna, not her real name. Okay, I'm glad it's a fake name, because if Anna is doing something f***ed up, I don't want to be associated with her. My cousin Anna hands out pink envelopes to all the 20 and 30-year-old men who have married/dated into the family. My fiance received one and quickly put it in his pocket after opening it. I was distracted opening my gifts and didn't ask to look at it. About 20 minutes later, my cousin Rachel, again, not a real name, pulls me aside and says Anna is giving out cards with instructions on how to get a discount subscription to her OnlyFans. Rachel's boyfriend got one of the pink cards and showed Rachel because he was weirded out. Good man. I'm pissed at this point because I suspect my fiance's card also has an OF discount, so I asked to talk with him and he denies getting a card from Anna. Just a discount? No friends and family special? I'm kidding. Oh my god. Let me just make that very clear. I tell him I saw her hand you one and I watched you put it in your pocket. I go to grab his pocket and he suddenly remembers getting a card but claims he didn't open it. I take it from him and of course it's already open and of course it's about f***ing OnlyFans. More men should be like Rachel's boyfriend. I go back inside to confront Anna and find her already arguing with a different cousin who is upset because her husband has already tried looking at Anna's page. Oh, what is it with these men? Ladies, stand up. Oh my god. You know what? Maybe Anna was doing you a favor. In a way, I'm not defending her. I'm gonna rip into Anna in just a sec. But maybe this was a litmus test for all of your boyfriends and husbands to see how they would deal with this kind of situation, with this temptation, if you will. But don't think I'm letting Anna off the hook, because I definitely won't. Anna claims she's just trying to get her business off the ground, and no one appreciates all the hard work and skills it takes to be successful in a digital career. She says her gift is not sexual, it's just marketing. I mean, this isn't fucking Patreon, this is OnlyFans. Two different things. Some of the older relatives are starting to take sides too, but they're mostly really confused about what's going on. Anna's mom started crying because of something I said, and my mom tried to get me to apologize, which pissed me off more. I wish she included what she said to Anna's mom. Give us the deets. This is Reddit. What are you hiding? I love how Anna describes this as a business she's trying to get off the ground, as if she's like opening a restaurant or selling clothes or something. Like, this isn't asking your family to support your new candle company or whatever. At this point, I leave with my brother and his husband because I don't want to spend the night with my fiance at home, and I don't feel like going with my parents when my mom is pressuring me to apologize. Oh, and surprise, surprise, Anna didn't give my brother's husband a card. So make of that what you will about the intent behind her gift. I'm actually considering calling off the engagement over this, and I'm pissed at my cousin for ruining both Christmas and my relationship. Before I continue, I would like to say that I am pro-sex workers. I have a problem with the sex work industry, but I do support the workers within it. All right, let me be clear. What I'm going to say does not apply to all sex workers. This is just specifically in Anna's case.
But Israel is really crazy. They figure out ways to prevent this stuff. Like, the stabbing was happening for a few months, and now it doesn't really happen so much. And I don't even know how.
Yeah.
But they have like their secret ways.
אין חשמל, אין מזון, אין מים, אין דלק. הכל סגור. אנחנו נלחמים בחיות אדם.
When we talk about privilege, let's talk about someone who's going to UC Berkeley, paid by their parents, $200,000 tuition, on campus protesting Israel. Do you find that ironic?
I personally think it's so ironic. I don't know, it's kids sitting here in like beautiful California criticizing, like you don't even know what you're talking about.
What we're seeing now at Columbia, we're not seeing ideological war. We're not seeing support for terrorism. We are seeing terrorism.
When I grew up, I couldn't really take a bus. I was afraid of blowing up.
Like, what's this definition of terrorism on campuses? Just people protesting? That's terrorism?
Really crazy.
Like, you fucking weirdo.
To prevent this stuff. Like, the stabbing was happening for a few months, and now it doesn't really happen so much. And I don't even know how, but they have like their secret ways.
אין חשמל, אין מזון, אין מים, אין דלק. כל...
Ladies,
Enemy watchdog below inbound.
Took out that traitor.
Bravo zone secure.
but Israel is really crazy. They figure out ways to prevent this stuff. Like, the stabbing was happening for a few months, and now it doesn't really happen so much. And I don't even know how.
Yeah.
Like, they have like their secret ways.
אין חשמל, אין מזון, אין מים, אין דלק. הכל סגור. אנחנו נלחמים בחיות אדם, ואנחנו נוהגים בהתאם.
When you talk about privilege, let's talk about someone who's going to UC Berkeley, paid by their parents, $200,000 tuition, on campus protesting Israel. Do you find that ironic?
I personally think it's so ironic. Like, it's just like, I don't know, it's kids sitting here in like beautiful California criticizing, like, you don't even know what you're talking about.
What we're seeing now is Colombia, and I don't use this word lightly. We're not seeing ideological war. We're not seeing support for terrorism. We are seeing terrorism.
When I grew up, I couldn't really take a bus. I was afraid of blowing up.
Right.
And now it doesn't really happen, so the wall did help. So should we not have a wall?
Since the events of October 7th and the ongoing disproportionate retaliation by the Israeli state, both Islamophobia as well as anti-Semitism have been on the rise in the United States.
And the Palestinians are taught to kill us at 2 years old!
That's pretty spicy.
Yeah. Do we have that one?
I don't understand why left-leaning media, which is mostly Jewish, are calling people white supremacists. Yeah, I just don't understand.
Left-wing media is mostly Jewish? In order for Israel to maintain their system of apartheid and to justify their inhumane actions in Gaza, Islamophobia is quite obviously ingrained in Israeli society and Israeli politics. However, by associating itself and its actions with the religion of Judaism, falsely claiming to be acting on the wishes of the Jewish diaspora, Israel, ironically, is also perpetuating anti-Semitism, and that is 100% by design.
They are vehemently against not only Israel, not only the Jewish students. Anti-Semitism is unquestionably a problem at the universities, but it goes significantly beyond that. These are protesters who are being influenced by outside organizations. The Islamic Republic of Iran is thanking them for their work. They are giving permission to these terrorists.
Overnight, the U.S. House passed a bill 32291, and a group of representatives say they want to protect their Jewish constituents. And the bill would essentially make it easier for the Department of Education to enforce anti-discrimination laws at public institutions.
So this bill would require the Department of Education to use the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's
I have the sweetest kitties ever. Thank you.
Denying the Jewish people their right to self-determination by claiming that the existence of a state of Israel is a racist endeavor.
Anti-Semitism is an ancient form of bigotry, but since the creation of Israel for the past 80 years or so, it's been used as a tool for the growth and continuation of Israel's existence. And no, this isn't some conspiracy theory. Israel quite obviously wants more anti-Semitism in the world in order to justify its Zionist project. By continuing their atrocious actions in Gaza and the West Bank, while wearing symbols representative of Judaism and claiming to be acting on the basis of Judaism, they guarantee the continuation, if not escalation, of global anti-Semitism.
The anti-Semitic decision of the International Court in The Hague is a modern Dreyfus trial, and it will end the same way. The decision to issue an arrest warrant against me, the democratically elected Prime Minister of the State of Israel, and our former Defense Minister, was made by a rogue prosecutor who's trying to extricate himself from sexual harassment charges, and by biased judges who are motivated by anti-Semitic sentiments against the one and only Jewish state.
Sleek and stylish in this wool blend, Najiba is hot, hot, hot. It's a look that screams, look out world, I'm a woman of the 12th century.
Islamophobia is also an ancient form of bigotry, and although its existence in the United States was prominent before, Islamophobia's use as a tool for manufactured consent reached its cultural climax more recently, specifically after 9/11.
You're saying that Islamophobia is not a real thing?
that if you're critical of something...
Well, it's not a real thing when we do it.
Right.
Well, no, it really isn't.
I'm not denying that certain people are bigoted against Muslims as people, and that's a problem.
Bigotry.
But
why are you so hostile about this concept?
It's gross. It's racist.
We have to be able to criticize bad ideas. And
of course we do. No liberal doesn't want to criticize bad ideas.
But Islam is the motherlode of bad ideas.
Jeez.
So we have
9/11 was a major turning point in the United States. The 90s were almost seen as the end of America's global fight against evil. The USSR was far behind us, and the United States didn't have a major adversary that they could villainize for their own self-interest. So in August of 2001, when George Bush was briefed by the CIA about credible threats of plane hijackings, it was the perfect opportunity for manufacturing consent. And that opportunity became reality on September 11.
Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts. I've directed the full resources of our intelligence and law enforcement community to find those responsible and to bring them to justice. We will make no distinction between the terrorists who committed these acts and those who harbored them.
For the next 2 decades and counting, the United States would use this day to not only justify their actions in Iraq, but to justify any sort of potential war crimes inflicted on an Arab and Muslim population.
9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda, an organization headed by Osama bin Laden, which had openly declared war on the United States and was committed to killing innocents in our country and around the globe. And so we went to war against Al-Qaeda to protect our citizens, our friends, and our allies.
And 9/11 was only the catalyst. Growing up in the United States post 9/11, I was surrounded by subtle yet quite obvious in retrospect anti-Arab propaganda. 2013 saw the release of World War Z, a zombie apocalypse movie, where at the movie's climax, we see a mob of zombies scaling the walls surrounding Jerusalem and attacking the civilians taking refuge. And who's on the other side of that wall in real life? Palestinians. This movie literally illustrates Palestinians as blood-hungry zombies. 2014 saw the release of American Sniper, a film following U.S. Navy SEAL Chris Kyle and his deployment in Iraq and then New Orleans.
He then later said that when he got back home, that he was on top of the Superdome and he shot over 30 meters during Hurricane Katrina. What a preposterous lie. How stupid are you if you believe that?
Throughout the film, he's seen as both a hero of America's freedom as well as a victim of our own actions, almost making it seem like we had to be in Iraq, but it was still a sad situation. God, I love neoliberalism. What was happening during the release of this movie? The United States was propping up and funding rebel groups in the Syrian civil war to overthrow President Bashar al-Assad. And whoops, we just created ISIS. We also grew up with master works like Captain Phillips, where Somali pirates are given zero humanization or explanation for why they're hijacking ships. The only explanation being they're just a bunch of crazy Arabs. Or the beautifully innocent movies of Sacha Baron Cohen, a British man who's made an entire career off of perpetuating the humanizing anti-Arab stereotypes.
In my country, we have KFC, Kazakh fried cat.
These associations in our media create an anti-Arab bias in the minds of its audience. But where those biases are confirmed is when these victims of American imperialism...
Israel are under attack. This moment of tragedy, I want to say to them and to the world and the terrorists everywhere.
On their heels. Hit them hard. Hostile drop.
For the past year, ever since October 7, 2023, Islamophobia has seen a resurgence in American media. Palestinians are described as terrorists who have a hidden desire to unalive Jewish people from a young age.
Rudy was saying that Palestinians are taught at 2 years old to kill Americans.
That's pretty spicy.
Yeah.
Do we have that one?
Like Kamala.
The other one.
I could add it.
And those who support the people of Palestine are labeled anti-Semites or even terrorists themselves.
What we're seeing now at Colombia, and I don't use this word lightly, we're not seeing ideological war. We're not seeing support for terrorism. We are seeing terrorism.
And what it was literally a vigil for terrorists. Now, I was on the University of Washington campus last week when they had this big rally, this big march for Hamas, when they were literally chanting, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. And they mean free of Jews. They want all Jews out of the land. I had people literally tell me to my face.
Citation needed.
That they were celebrating the fact that babies had their heads cut off.
There's nobody on the entire platform to call him out. Nobody. They've all been banned.
Citation needed.
They've all been banned. Nobody. There is not a single dissenting voice with his straight up radical, anti-American, anti-Semitic, pro-China, pro-Russia, pro-terrorism takes. This is fringe, psychotic shit that is not normal.
Anti-Semitism, however, has also been on the rise since October 7th, thanks to Israel's undying ability to associate its war crimes with the religion of Judaism. A religion, by the way, that is fundamentally built on peace and the idea of loving thy neighbor as thyself.
My Jewish values teach me to oppose apartheid.
Now, the reason I've decided to make this video is not simply to analyze the growth of both Islamophobia and anti-Semitism. The way politics is today, political analysis becomes significantly more interesting and easier to understand when discussed in the context of internet drama. In fact, this OG YouTuber has built an empire, a dying empire, off of internet drama. This OG YouTuber, famous for his appearances in blackface, brownface, whiteface, and poopface, has more recently become famous for spewing on the daily both Islamophobic and anti-Semitic rhetoric.
Fresh criticism for Hassan, who is an outright supporter of terrorism, quite literally. He is a champion for terrorism and a supporter of terrorism. And if you don't believe me, watch the video.
Now, there's a lot of details I could get into regarding Ethan's racist crash out, but I'll save that for a future video. What I really want to focus on today is this tweet and the context of this tweet by Hassan Piker.
My former podcast co-host misunderstood me when I said in America that anti-Semitism is institutionally unacceptable, but Islamophobia is permitted if not encouraged. Yesterday, he proved my point.
Ethan has a long history of Islamophobia, stretching all the way back to his time in Israel. Go figure. Like when Ethan and Hila visited an Arab village, and Ethan was afraid of the call to prayer.
Are you sure we're going the right way? Hila, are we going the right way?
I'm hoping so.
Yeah, no. I don't know, we just need to find the water.
You know what they say? Follow the Allah Akbars.
Or when Ethan said Arab Muslims have an inclination towards committing acts of violence.
I do, on the other hand, acknowledge that, I think per capita, a lot of the weird fucking terrorism and crimes and shit, there's definitely some strong thread of violence through the Muslim community. Yeah. Or Arab Muslims, to be more specific.
Or when Hila said the wall between Israel and the West Bank had to be built and was proven effective.
They built a wall, and Israel should be a one state with Palestinians and Israel's all living together. They should reduce the borders and remove the gate. That to me seems like super ignorant.
It is, because when I grew up, I couldn't really take a bus. I was afraid of blowing up.
Right.
And now it doesn't really happen. So the wall did help. There's still a lot of other ways. There's tunnels and,
Yeah, rockets.
Yeah.
When Hila was a kid, there was no wall around greater Israel that blocked out the West Bank and Gaza. And it was I remember in the newspaper when you were growing up, almost daily, right?
Not
Suicide
daily,
bombs
but
weekly.
It was happening a lot, and it was terrifying, yeah.
In cafes, shopping malls, in buses.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like a slaughter. It was just a slaughter. And so they're like, oh, let's build a fucking wall then. And lo and behold, no more suicide bombs. And my whole time there, my whole 5 years living there was one failed, shitty attempt.
Mm-hmm.
The list goes on.
You told me once you went on a mission with them to a terrorist city.
But these clips are all quite old, and for a while there, Ethan was able to hide any of his own Islamophobia. Yet when October 7 took place, Ethan Klein's Islamophobic tendencies came to the forefront.
I find it incredible that people think that Hamas is going to take over all of Israel and happily coexist with Israelis. If there's a state of Palestine, it makes sense. But if you're in one state, all that's going to happen is like everybody is trying to bring as many people there as possible. And like by the time, there frankly are a lot of Palestinians, right, in the area. And once the Palestinians outnumber the Jews, basically anything is fair game for the Jews. Anything. Oh, it's going to be a secular country? You mean Hamas, the Islamic fundamentalist group, is going to come out and do a secular country? What the f are you talking about? I feel like people are so deluded. They'll look at something like From the River to the Sea and be like, oh no, that doesn't mean that they want to, they just want to create a secular state and peacefully live with Israelis. By the way, segregation is not real. There's 20% of the population in Israel is Palestinian, full citizens, integrated in all levels of work.
And over time, he played victim, claiming that people calling him a Zionist are being anti-Semitic. Ironically, an anti-Semitic statement in and of itself. But I'll get to that in a bit.
That's my problem, is that people, they're watching with the expectation, they're looking for any little nugget to get indignant over and to call me a Zionist. Mm-hmm. If you call me a Zionist, you're anti-Semite. You know why? Because I'm not a fucking Zionist, and I've made that exactly profoundly, deeply clear. So when you see someone on Twitter, when you see someone in the audience calling me a Zionist, what they're calling me is a fucking Jew.
Mm-hmm. And this whole Zionism thing is just so fucked up. It's basically a purity test on Jews. Mm-hmm. You got to be, are you a good Jew or a bad Jew? So in what world is that normal? To be like, sorry, no Zionists, death to Zionists. So, you go to all these campuses, no Zionists allowed. So they're saying, are you a good Jew or are you a bad Jew? That's the conversation. And again, I emphasize this because I don't think people appreciate it, but 90% of the world's Jews would be considered Zionist.
For the most part, Ethan didn't mention Hassan once, or vice versa, for the past year. And although Ethan decided to end leftovers, and thus end any discussion regarding Israel-Palestine, the topic did still make its way into an episode here and there. And it was still quite clear that Ethan and Hila had some difficulty with the topic. But it wasn't until the day of our Holy Lord, September 11th, 2024, when Ethan Klein decided to go on a full-on spite-driven and seemingly Islamophobic crusade against Hassan and anyone associated with Hassan. More often than not, people who are pro-Palestine. Why did he all of a sudden decide to go on this deplatforming campaign against pro-Palestinian streamers, many of whom are Arab themselves? Simple. They were promoting terrorism and simping for Osama bin Laden.
My friends, it's so good to see you again. Happy Friday to all my...
Happy Friday!
To all my beloved audience members, to my crew, to my beautiful wife, to my dogs. TGIF. I want to talk about my beef with bin Laden.
Okay. Okay.
Now, I made the brave assertion on Instagram.
No, bin Laden's
and again,
dead.
This stems from these TikTok people who are like being like simping for bin Laden because he was anti-American and failed to read the rest of his manifesto, in which he said specifically, the reason I did this attack is because you're all gay Jews who aren't Muslim, it's doing Sharia law, and also you give loans. I saw this tweet, and it had, and this moment, it got even more, but it had 160,000 likes, 9 million views. So there's a lot of people on Twitter who are like, yeah, this guy's onto something. Do Americans actually know why bin Laden did all that? Or do they believe he hated that they can vote or something? And what's interesting to me is that when I actually read his writings and learned about it,
it occurred to me that, like, holy shit, that is kind of why he hates us. He did
When I
quite
read
literally
his
hate
writings,
Americans because
bullshit.
they could vote and had freedoms.
You don't read
Specifically
dog
states
shit.
in his writings the reasons: homosexuality, lack of Sharia law, drug use, lending of money, and letting Jews run the country, or the world, frankly. Please read his writings before regurgitating tanky talking points and running defense for a mass-murdering, homophobic, anti-Semitic piece of shit. Fuck Bin Laden. Anyone trying to rewrite history.
Yeah, I mean, if I want to extend a little bit of grace to some of these people that, you know, I'm assuming have not actually taken the time to fully read his manifesto or his writings or whatever. You know, there are parts of it where he's critiquing, you know, U.S. imperialism and messing with countries in the Middle East, like you said. And it can come across as like, okay, he's making some points here, but like you have to read on. Like
Yes.
you can't just read like you can't read the back cover on this one. Like you should delve a little bit deeper, because the further you read, the more it's like, oh, he's fucking insane. Okay.
Coming to the conclusion that bin Laden hated us because we could vote and had some level of freedom of expression, that is the dumbest, most white supremacist argument you can make, and is an obvious example of Islamophobia.
So the first thing I saw was this dude named Comrade Casey. Comrade Casey says, Ethan Klein has never heard of historical analysis. And I'm thinking, like, we can analyze it all we want. That's his literal words. Like, he's just like, I hate Jewish people and I want to kill people who have freedoms, who aren't following Sharia law all the time. And they're like, well, what did he really mean by that? It's obnoxious, but this isn't actually the most obnoxious. Then comes everybody's favorite, Frogan. So here I am saying, actually, Osama bin Laden bad. And her response was, this motherfucker never shuts up. Oh my God.
I mean, you could shut up yourself.
It was this collection of leftists on Twitter giving a correct analysis for what transpired 23 years earlier that officially marked the beginning of Ethan Klein's public hatred for socialists. Someone who a year earlier described himself as a socialist, or at least socialist adjacent, had now reached a point where he hates most socialists and thinks of them all as terrorism, simping anti-Semites.
So anyway, here's what I says. Why I hate most socialists. Let's take a look at Deprogram, one of the most popular socialist subreddits, and a show frequented by Hassan. These are the guys who said all Israelis are valid military targets, including babies, just by the nature of existing and being born there. So let's see what they're up to on election day.
Ethan Klein was quite public about his hatred for woke socialists, but whenever mentioning this, made sure to include that he doesn't feel that way about Hassan.
I haven't watched the whole thing. It's long as fucking. I generally don't like watching videos like this because it's usually depressing. And it seems to have like a neutral title, but I think everybody noticed as they were watching through it, even Hassan, I think, commented on it, that this video is a little fucking weird.
Yeah.
You had mentioned you had watched it.
Yeah, I saw the whole thing. It is biased towards Hassan, right? It's all about how you kind of screwed everything up. And pretty much the core, the video is that you became like a debate pervert who then challenged Hassan and lost.
Even Hassan was getting like frustrated watching it, and he was confused, and he's like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah, Hassan didn't like the video at all, from what I recall. He thought it was weird, and the more it went on, the more you kind of like disliked it.
Oh, I gotta go. I gotta finish. I'll finish this tomorrow. I gotta do the podcast. Personal news-wise, I ended the broadcast. We watched a YouTube video that was really good, and I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's by Comrade Casey in the chat, also known as, I believe, North Star Radio. Is that what it is? Is that what his YouTube name is? I forget.
It seems to me that this guy is the exact sort of awful person Ethan was talking about that is within Hassan's community. And again, I'll say Hassan's video didn't have really any nasty comments, so I am definitely talking about people like this. Who are not in his comment section, though.
But Ethan could only keep that lie for so long.
Guys, my interview with Destiny is out now on our channel. If you haven't seen it, it's a thrilling conversation that we had.
Are you the one
and more to come?
I know that it was not my penis. So you're gonna say that?
That's I was gonna say. I don't know if you were the one who was having
Clearly
gay sex
an
with
uncircumcised
More to
penis.
come.
I didn't know.
What do you think I'm working with?
Piker also in the mix.
We also have the Hassan Piker episode from months ago, which is still at our editor's house, who won't pick up the phone. Literally. I'm not even making up an excuse. Steven has not picked up the phone.
Which one is Hassan Piker? Is that the
sexy socialist streamer?
Okay, yeah, okay,
The three
that
S's.
guy. Yeah. I only know, I'll be honest with you, I've been listening to Chapo Trap House for years.
Same.
I don't know which one is Virgil, don't know which one is Will.
Virgil is the main guy, and he's still
Virgil's
on it.
the Chinese one.
Yeah.
Virgil's Chinese?
Kind of started the thing.
Okay.
That's why
What are
half
the
show's in
comments saying on
Chinese.
that? Because it just came out 5 minutes ago. The comments positive? What are they saying?
This is the best interview they've ever seen.
Really?
Wow.
Who said
Amazing.
Buttfucker, thank you for your comment. Now I'm going to look at it, and it's going to be like,
Shouts out, put in the chat.
Adam actually makes Destiny look nice.
I like that.
No.
Hey, should y'all put, are y'all going to get Ben Shapiro on the pod?
I would love to.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw him this weekend at synagogue.
I opened for some black conservatives who now do stand-up, the Hodge twins.
Yeah, we talked about him briefly.
Yeah. That's crazy, because sold-out crowd.
Destiny, I went to his channel yesterday. His #1 video is with that black pastor who's like, I hate black people. Have you seen that guy?
Oh,
What's
fuck,
his name?
man. I don't. He's like a New York guy too.
No, he's like he's like from the South or something. But
or is he?
You've seen this guy, right?
Mark, whatever.